Hello, everybody. Hello. Kyle Guy here. I'm here with Mr. Ben Merlini Wu as we get ready for Secret versus Evil Geniuses. We are hanging out in the lobby right now. All casters are in the lobby right now, but we are missing the players. No players in the lobby. So if you're hoping the game to start in about a minute's time, I'll tell you what, you're going to be heartbroken. I'm going to add some time on this clock, and we'll continue to wait. It is a LAN after all, so I'm sure they're like, you know, moving in the players. They're setting up their hotkeys. They're warming up the fingers. It's going to take a little bit of time here. So let me add how many disappointing minutes. Let's see, how many disappointing minutes can I add here? This seems like a good starting area. Let's add another like 10 minutes, and we'll go from there. I will continue to keep you posted, though. Continue to enjoy the porn music. So if you guys have not guessed yet, I've been trying. Oh, is that their music? Hold on, let me shut them up. I've been trying to get rid of all the text overlay here. So if you happen to know, you can tell me. Otherwise, we'll just leave this up for now. Sorry, gang. Yeah, we did it. Thanks, guys. Somebody tell those people in the front to just sit down. We got a game start. Now we can guess how much time they add on to their timer, because I don't think we're starting in 40 seconds, Ben. I mean, we have no one in the lobby at all, so I'm curious to see. I added 10 minutes. I felt that was pretty modest. We'll have to see how much time they decide to add. Oh snap, something's happening actually. Let me see. We should put the sound back on, right?
好的，观众朋友，欢迎回来。您现在正在收看到的是 Mas 传媒为您主播。
Alright, we can't understand any of that.
我们刚刚在群里面，大家也是在预测这场比赛的胜负。我只能说，艺伎感到了一股神秘的东方力量。
来自东方力量。
我们这个3位评论席的嘉宾，以及这个解说席的2位嘉宾，
以及正在休息的解说。
对，通通看好艺伎。
就可能说，我们单个人的这个奶量来看，没有某位单性的人强啊，但是我们胜在量大，好吧？我们人多，数量弥补质量。
是。那么这场比赛呢，其实我觉得 Secret 想赢的话，要解决一个问题。 就是因为我小组赛的时候刚好。
Are those the odds, Ben? 10% for Secret, 90% for EG.
90%
差不多。
They're so NA biased.
出一种一面倒的局势啊。
对，我只能说 Secret 的这10%的是铁粉，对吧？就是在大家。
Is that fruit real? You think on the screen right there?
Dude, I told you everything in China is fake.
That's fake fruit. Is that coconut? That's shaved coconut.
That one looks real.
那3场 MP
Dude, shaved coconut's good.
I mean, I didn't say it was bad. It's just, they have random fake fruit sitting on an end table. That's outside furniture too. That's patio furniture, I'm pretty sure.
诡异的位置被对面上来就杀掉了，也没有任何的收获，也没有任何的收益，不知道他站在那里干嘛。
其实 MP 这个选手从MVP 去到了这个 Secret， 我也是不可思议的，因为觉得
Heartbreaker？
怎么会？
I think it's a band.
表现
I don't know.
没有什么太多亮眼的，
很平，
很多时候是很平，然后偶尔还会有很多失误在里面。
他之前在 MVP 因为队内的大腿
color in his hair or is it just gray?
Oh, he has color.
What color? Like blue?
这个人就感觉赢了好像和他没什么关系，输了
Wasn't sure if it was that or if he had like gray hair.
我也甩不到他那儿，就这样一个感觉。
希望他这次能打的那个一点吧。我之前看他的比赛，就是总体来说打的倒没有说特别大的问题。
By the way, guys, still 0 out of 10 people in the lobby.
克服的话，我觉得 Secret 还是有一战之力的。
We're waiting.
整个战队的风格也是比较。
They might like show the entrance. I imagine what's going to happen.
就是他看他这个班子就知道。
Oh, and they also have apparently been doing some of that cool Valve augmented reality. They just like put something on the table sometimes. I think I saw a Roche once. I hope they bring something up.
只能说你去刷吧，给你选个火猫，你去刷圣剑。就是现在就完全转变成另外一种风格。
对。
他们也是决心比较大吧，把自己。
I noticed in their fruit they don't have a banana. Is that?
对，然后找了3个东南亚的选手过去，也是让我们觉得很，怎么这原本是一支
Whoa!
队伍，
Sorry, there it was.
发现东南亚的人还更多了。
就你感觉画风一变，就不知道怎么回事，就反正觉得这个队伍配上这几个人的头像就那么别扭。
这倒也还好，就是会发现他们跟着人员的一个
Look at the production value. So jealous.
打法风格会有很大的不一样在里面。
对，总体来说我还是比较喜欢现在这支 Secret 的。
是。
之前的 Secret 实在把膀胱局没什么观赏性，
就风格比较单一。你这个队伍一上来，我好像心里已经有个底啊，这局多少分钟以上啊，要打不到这个分钟以上，可能他就要输。
对，包括现在像就是 Forever 他本身自己玩的比较
The way he's in front of the other guy though is pretty unfortunate.
往前冲带节奏就打架，所以他们现在整体风格可能也会稍微变一下。
对，
包括他们中路的选手也是找了一个东南亚的天梯，算是第一吧。
应该说是他之前这个队伍内的大腿啊 ，Mid One。
对，反正这个最大腿的。
对，
我之前也有跟。反正那个之前的一个领队 TI5时候那个领队是个中国人，我也跟他聊这个反正那个事情，他跟我说反正那个就是 Mid One 是个大腿，我说反正那个现在这么厉害，他说因为 Mid One 是个大腿，就是太厉害了，这个人太厉害了，这个人
They're talking about how they met Mid One during TI, and they were just wondering how he was such a good player, and they were talking about the mid matchup.
Mid One versus Sumail. Wondering how he's such a good player.
They're like, well, because he kind of came out of nowhere, right?
That's like all mid laners.
但他其实也是一个比较年轻的选手，
Yeah.
年纪很小。
They're like, oh, they're so young.
走向这个年轻化，
越来越多少
So young and so dreamy.
这段时间刚刚夺冠的这5个小伙子是吧？年龄都很小。
其实他们的对手一期这边 Sumail 和 RTZ 年纪都不大。
I heard Sumail. Understood that.
他们出道的时候
They're talking about the young members on EG's team, Sumail and RTZ.
Crits, I think, younger, right?
17 years. He's not 17 anymore, is he?
Crit?
17? No, they weren't talking about Crit.
国外队伍这边好。
I want to say that Crit's like 18 or 19 now. Sumail, I don't think Sumail's 18. I think that would have been somewhat big news. That everyone's like, oh my god, he's finally 18. I want to say he's 17 still.
是一个非常有潜力的选手。
普遍公认的。
But then again, now that you say it, I feel like he might have been 17 for like 3 years.
I feel like RTZ was like still 16, but I think he's like 19 now or something.
这个也是对他实力的一种认可。
对，就基本上欧美那边的天才少年涌现出来的选手，就全中大部
All
分
right,
都
guys, we actually have 2 of Team Secret in the lobby. Now 3. So Secret's starting to come into the lobby.
这个队伍会发现3号位。
So according to their data, Mid One is the best with 30.5%.
但是经济比和伤害比就还算比较正常啊，我拿多少
It could
资
be
源
like
干多少事儿。
farm distribution
哎，
or
我
some
这我
crap.
突然想到，有一天他们好像是打了个斧王，那远古队的远古全被斧王收，那大哥一脸懵。
I don't know
好
what
像
that
是
is.
斯温还是什么医生？
可能他急着要出关键装嘛，跳刀啊。
I think it might be similar to what
他
they
他
had
不止
at
收一波，收了好
the
多波。
Manila Majors, like farm distribution and
大哥没空，大哥说你
like
刷吧，我
kill
要。
可以
participation.
看到
or-
就 Mid One 是跟我们印象当中一样啊，占了26.25%的资源，然后输出打的也比较足，是30.5%。但是 MP 这个点它占了24.51%的资源，资源相对来说
Alright, we
一号
got
位是
five-
算比较少的，但是这个输
5
出
Secret in the
更
lobby.
是少得
No
可怜，只有
EG.
20%出头。
They're kind of similar to the Western scene that they don't really care that much about the
自己的
sports.
这个3
It's
号
all about the
Forever 打的输出
cores.
差不多。
对，
我们知道 Forever 的定位
They,
是
like-
they haven't
it's like
even
a-
mentioned the supports ever.
It's like a rock band, you know? It's the singer. And the guitarist, you know, he's kind of there, but supports, that's like,
他的斧王输出
you know,
还
the
是挺高的
drummer, the triangle player.
但是就是它的定位是一个控制。
No one cares about the mouth harpist.
DPS 对，就不应该说比自己
The bass player.
这个
The bass player
只多2%多一点点。
正常来讲，一个1号位的输出应该是保持在25%左右，这是一个正常的标准。
然后辅助方面的话，差不多。是比较正常的。
I want to see EG's
说现在 Papi 开心了，他终于不用去
Show me EG's
那个1保4的1了。
不是那个暗幕了。
是的。
它可以是那个赏金。
还可以，好像前些天还玩了什么末日。
This is where we need Jack.
Really though, this is so false. Puppy is not the same height as all them. I mean.
给自己一些发挥的空间了。
其实你看 Papi 的这个比赛历史，你就。
Jack's there though. He's been actually sending us awesome pictures from his phone.
Okay, we have 9 players in the lobby.
Oh, suddenly lots of EG here. Yeah, we got 9 out of 10. It's great. Yeah, they are not showing the EG side.
但是以往的队伍里面不允许他去做这个毒瘤。
可能他就需要站出来，去少施点资源。
是的。
I remember Jack asked if they still hated Sumil because he was like bad-mouthing China, and he said, yeah, they still hated him.
I mean, at Shanghai Major, that was pretty apparent. They were like screaming every time he died.
Yeah. I don't think they forget easily, especially stuff like that. They're pretty nationalistic.
Well, what was it? He like totally like, was it ZYF in a pub or YYF? It was one of them. He like totally disrespected them in a pub.
而且这两个大哥非常突出。
I mean, in NA Dota, it was just kind of respect, but
it's still very weird to me seeing Crit in an EG jersey.
30%。
对，一个是刚刚的 Mid One， 还有那个
生辰，
对，然后还有就是EG 的。
Yeah, everything else really makes sense, but Crit in the jersey just is kind of weird.
也是看得出来这个队伍是比较靠大哥的，然后
It'll take me a while to get used to it.
3号位虚空这种。
10 players, 10 players,
10 freaking players.
就看起来的话是现在的这个EG酱油的资源是被
So I'm seeing a lot more lower percentages here. Oh, of course they give EG like no time at all with the graphs.
好，那我们赛前也是来看一看两支战队的宣传片。
Oh my goodness.
Dude, he looks like he's 14 there.
He looks so pretty. I'm gonna teach you how to skip rope.
Why don't they have anything cool for Rev?
These are the least masculine player intros ever. Puppy. Oh. Oh my goodness. Fear me. Oh, I see you. Once a part of Fnatic, now a part of Secret. Look out for Mid One. Secret! Oh.
What's that gold axe?
It's a Reaver, I think.
But why? They don't have it on all the players. They just have it on some of them.
I can't wait to see what Zai does with the ball. Oh my god! Ah, this is like the summit! Ah. What is this? Time to beat your ass.
See, he had the axe too, or the Reaver, or whatever you want to call it. Dude, that was great.
How are they not laughing right now? If
he
I was
is! The guy in the middle's laughing.
Like, how ridiculous. They're like, yeah, that was a pretty polished player intro, if I say myself. All right, guys, we're going to have enough fun with this. I'm going to switch things back over in a way because we do have a game loading up right now.
That was fun, man.
That was a lot of fun, I know, but unfortunately it's going to end here. Well, it's going to end because we have a game underway. We're about to load into the draft.
We're not in the draft yet, Dakota.
You really want to go back and watch more of it, don't you?
Dude, that was hilarious. Well, that might be better than the actual game.
Well, we're not going to see.
Okay, we're in the draft.
Fine. All right, fine. Okay, guys, give it a second. We'll be in the draft. All right. I don't know what I'm prepping for, dude. We don't even have an intro. Let's just switch to the draft. Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is the Mars Dota 2 League 2016, a.k.a. the MDL, and we are in playoff action now, and then we're in the upper bracket, believe it or not. It's Evil Geniuses going against Team Secret, And what a doozy of a match it's going to be. I'll get Dota 2 unmuted, and we'll get underway. I'm Coddle Guy for Beyond the Summit. I'm joined by Mr. Ben Merlini Wu, if you haven't already heard. And here we are, man. EG versus Secret. Obviously, if this was the matchup a month ago, it would have been mega hype. Today, still mega hype. So, any early impressions? I know last time when I was trying to poke you a bit about, do you think that for this particular team, their particular roster is an upgrade or a downgrade? It's a bit too soon to tell, but any early tells about EG versus Secret?
I think if Secret beats EG, it doesn't mean that EG's weak. I think if EG beats Secret, however, it means Secret's weak, just because I think the support duo on the Secret has been the same. I think Crit, he still has a lot of room to improve. It's very difficult for him to adjust to the new captain role, as well as playing with the new support. He was playing with Fly on OG, now he's with Zai. Not that Zai is difficult to play with, it just takes a lot more time to build chemistry if your support core is different. So I think like the 3 cores on Secret, it's just much easier for them to play and mesh together well, and their chemistry will build together a lot faster.
We'll have to see if it plays out that way or not. I'm sure this will be one of Crit's toughest challenges as a drafting captain right now, going against one of the best, if not the best, in the game. But he has already managed to take down his former teammate and captain in Fly on OG, so I'm sure with that he's got to be feeling pretty good. And he will open up his draft with an Oracle and an Axe combo, while Secret managed to creep in the early Kunkka and follow it up with the Timbersaw commitment here and now. So not too much early tells, but obviously with grabs like Timber, like Axe, it can limit a lot of the options in the hero pool. So we'll have to see how Phase 2 is going to be very telling here.
Trying to look at their hero pools and what they've picked together this last week. Evil Geniuses have picked Omni Knight 3 times, and I think Secret ran it too.
There's definitely been a lot of Omni Knight going. That was especially on the first day of MDL. Yesterday, actually didn't catch a whole lot of Omni Knight action, but we could see a resurgence here possibly in Game 3. Was there anything they were particularly pairing it up with? Like, I wonder why in particular, like going for the Omni Knight.
Storm's always pretty strong, but Storm seems to be more picked by Secret. Omni OD, it was this scourge of pubs for quite some time. And
it's so funny because at that time, everyone was talking about how crazy it was in pubs, but we never really saw it in competitive play, like maybe here and there. But everyone was just talking about, like, oh, here it comes. Well, look out for it, the OD Omni. But we didn't really get to see it.
That patch was just like OD in general. If you just picked OD with any other hero, it still would have been really good. But now it seems like, yeah, you might have to actually pair OD with something for the Flying Bird to be good.
As we make it through the second phase of bans, they get rid of the Coddle on the side of EG. Secret rid of the Ursa here. This comes after the Drow Ranger ban, fearing anyone to kind of get up in the face. Obviously, Ursa could have a pretty good time laning up against the Timbersaw. And I do like the EG ban getting rid of the Coddle. We have been seeing far too many teams being able to get away with these Kunkka Coddle pairings. And as much fun as it's like double Tidebringers are, just the fact that they can kind of allow their teammates to be able to come to and from the fight, get to side lanes, come back with X, you go over there, I'll recall you over here. It's a bit ridiculous how much they're able to manipulate the map and, utilize that aspect of the game. So it's a good ban. And we'll have to see going into the second phase now. EG, are they going to be a bit more revealing with their perhaps mid or core lane? Or maybe facing some silence now. You got to find a way to get rid of the Timbersaw. Another reason. It's interesting also why they banned out the Coddle. Coddle could have been okay on EG's side, but I guess Coddle and Oracle is a pretty bad support duo.
Yeah.
Need a silence, though, for Timber, I'd imagine.
If they have enough bursts with X, it's not that big a deal. They have a lot of bursts right now. Oracle and X is already pretty good. You can put them down in Coaling Blade range very, very quickly. And I think, I don't know, the Shadow Demon ban is actually a little bit more telling, I think, to me. He's like one of the few heroes that can actually deal with the Repel very easily. One of the few support heroes. And Secret's lineup's also really bad for Smash community at the moment. Another strength hero versus the Timbersaw, but some very reliable disable. I think it's to also protect them against the Storm Spirit. They're covering a lot of their bases.
Yeah, it stops illusion gaming, as mentioned, the Storm gaming a bit. But what are they going to do with it? I would imagine it's going to be Zai's hero. Zai used to play it a lot when he was first on EG in his 4th position, but we know that Sand King also has been visiting the offlane pretty often, and you could go greedy X jungle and switch things up if you want. So they could be just holding that option for now to see how the draft continues to unfold, but we'll have to see how versatile they plan on being with it. We go back to Secret's way now. So you're dealing with a Sand King, you're dealing with an Axe, a couple of big badass bruisers here. We'll have to see if Secret want to find a way to kind of, I don't know, anti-blink gaming, a way to be able to scope up the Sand King so he can't really be that much of a team fight factor. And Secret themselves maybe can add even more to their own team fight game.
They need better lanes right now. Like, you need to pressure the lanes hard enough so that the Axe jungle doesn't win out so hard. Like, that's one of the sacrifices of having a jungle Axe or someone just, you know, farming with the Iron Talon, is that you'll generally lose your lanes. But like right now, I don't actually see them like winning their lanes that badly. Axe and Sand King are actually pretty strong versus these two, at least in the early game. Maybe not the Axe versus Timbersaw matchup, but two melee versus two kind of melee.
Two anti-melee.
Axe and Sand King are really good anti-melee.
They are.
Timber is too.
Axe, Sand King, and Timber are like the three where it's like, and then I
don't
know,
get up in my face.
Tide, I guess, kind of could be there. These are all like big meefy offlaners that are like, I would love a one-on-one, and I would love that one-on-one. One to be with another melee. Who really comes out on top? Who's king of the melee, anti-melee?
Timber, probably.
Timber, you think? Yeah. AA is going to be coming out here from Secret. This obviously could limit the option if EG wanted to put in that crafty Huskar, but also AA already pretty good at being able to nerf down the sustained power from the Oracle. If anyone
I'm really worried about their lanes now. Like, AA just makes their safe lane like really weak right now.
Yeah, he's not the biggest zoner in the game. He certainly can't add anything defensively to save your safe laner if troubles are coming. Besides, I will slow them down with my Ice Vortex. Not much more there to offer, though. With the Chilling Touch, you do have huge fight in the level 1. If they kind of want to get into a bit of a tussle early, I suppose that's something good going for them. But EG decided to go for a Jug, a Healing Ward into an AA, but nonetheless, they're still feeling pretty confident in the man.
Magic Immunity is like godly versus Secret's team right now. They have no anti-BKB at the moment and no anti-spin. Like Juggernaut's kind of just free to do whatever he wants and spin away from the Dota. They have no lockdown at the moment at all.
EG's turn to bang.
So Secret, they move into a Morphling. I mean, EG have not picked up any silence yet, so Morphling is happy about that. But there's still lots of CC still available on the side of EG for it. And
it's a common pickup versus the Axe
10 seconds
to
remaining.
Replicate him, but it's very weak in like it just makes their safe lane like super.
I mean, that's all I'm hearing from you is just like their laning now is going to be suffering a bit, and I would imagine for Morphling of all people needs a good laning experience so that he can just kind of become a problem into the mid lane game, so he can get underway to getting that Lincolns or whatever it may be sooner.
Yep.
But I don't know if the IC Ancient Apparition is going to be enough to babysit Morphling on this one.
And their only setup really is the Kunkka. The Kunkka has a setup that's team fight for AA. I think with AA, you want like multiple ways to land the Ice Blast. Like Chronosphere is a very common one. You'll see like Nick Assassin 2 occasionally, just like heroes as just easy 1-2 punch to secure a kill. But with Kunkka, it just takes a lot of time to ramp up. It gives the Oracle a lot of time to Fate's Edict them. Juggernaut can spin out quite easily.
Remaining.
Well, the nice thing is EG's been able to hold off on their mid lane because Secret could always grab something. You were just talking about the Faceless Void and then try to put the Timbersaw, let's say, in the mid lane. But the problem is that EG have last say on the mid lane. They could do the Jug, let's say, but now they get to wait and see what Secret's full 5-man spread is going to be and adjust accordingly.
So where do they want to put the Timber?
Yeah, that's what I was just asking. I don't know.
The thing is, EG can always just run the Juggernaut mid if it's a weak hero.
Yeah.
And or they could just pick anything for Sumail really that matches up well. So Secret have to make the first move and give away their lanes.
What's good for something for Sumail to have in the mid lane that would help in maybe shutting down the Morphling? I don't know. Do you go back to like a Queen of Pain so you can have like the Orchid silence factor on your team? Now with going against a Morphling and a Timber, I'm sure you value a bit of the silence. Oh. Magnus comes out from Secret. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Not a typical Magnus kind of a game where you like to pair him with your Jugs or your Slarks.
He is the most anti-melee of all of them.
Really now?
And at the cleave and the RP, The RP is
10
ridiculous.
seconds remaining.
But still, I think struggles a little bit
Anti-mage.
to deal with the Juggernaut.
Okay.
I think especially is already pretty good versus them.
All right, so that is going to be a mid lane Sumail Jug. I guess they see the Magnus come out and they feel pretty confident that regardless if it's going to be the Mag or the Timber in the mid lane, they should be able to match up accordingly. And EG opt to go for the Evil Geniuses Anti-Mage for their 5th pick then. So
Good old anti-mage
good
versus
old
Morphling.
Anti-Mage. So late game for both sides right now. But huge team fight, big setup. You're talking Magnus looking in, RP into AA ulti, into Timber destruction.
Yeah, I
With
like
a boat on top of it. It's a lot.
the only problem is their early game though. Their lanes are already pretty weak, but on top of that, they can't roam. Like a solo
10
Kunkka
seconds remaining.
or even Kunkka plus AA is not going to be great at ganking the lanes. You can't
5
gank a Juggernaut;
seconds
he'll just spin away, and then it's just going to be really weak if they try to pressure whomever wants to jungle on the EG side. So I think they could easily just jungle Iron Talon or just go to lane.
You can like
whichever one they
X
want.
in the mid lane, and mid one could charge back into the tower after the X, I guess. I don't know.
Spin to
true.
win.
Yeah. And then there's Jug, who just hits one button, and suddenly your whole choreographed routine is just thrown out the window. We'll have to see how things do develop, though.
Yeah, I think their lanes are very, very safe at the moment.
So we'll have to see if the pressure's on them to kind of either make a laning rotation kind of a change or just kind of put up with it as it is and hope that they can make rotations or make adjustments to be able to kind of take the initiative back. Let's start off with who's going to be going where here. We have Arteezy, who's going to be up on the anti-mage, it looks like for now, just hanging by his lonesome, but nearby. We do have Universe straight to the Iron Talon. He could be going straight to the jungle, it looks like. On his axe, Sumail, going to be repping straight to Poor Man's Shield and just one shared tango on his mid lane Jug. Crit's going to be playing the Oracle, and of course that has Zai on the 4-position Sand King. Seen many a games from his first edition of playing on EG on this 4-position Sand King, so I imagine he'll be pretty polished and ready to go on it. And then meanwhile on the side of Secret, we've got Forev, who's going to be playing what looks like the offlane Timbersaw, and the rest of Secret, their whole posse's down here. Puppy once again on the Kunkka, mid one on the Magnus. MP is going to be Morphling, and if that leaves Mr. Pylai Die playing the Ancient Apparition. Haven't seen Pi play AA a whole lot, so this
No, it's
should be fun.
actually usually the Puppy hero,
Yeah.
which is a little strange here.
It's a new one for Pi. We'll see if he'll be able to keep his space and avoid a lot of trouble. Looks like he's able to kind of get a ward down nice and early, which will, of course, be in the corner of that spawn box and block out that precious little camp. But, of course, Universe, it looks like he doesn't even care about that camp. He's going straight to the meat part of the jungle, and will begin his farm there. Still under the watchful eye. Secret did plant a nice little high ground ward here, so they will see Universe's movement from camp to camp.
But they can't do anything about it.
But they can't do anything about it. They'll see it, though, Ben. I don't know if Pylai Die wants to risk going in there about it.
Puppy's trying to do something about it.
Okay.
He's going to go for the torrent.
There he goes.
That
Universe will know that there's a ward in the area, but he didn't seem to shrug one bit. He's looking to finish out these ogres. He will get them down, but did have to share some of that XP with Kunkka. So it looks like Puppy's job in the early game is just going to be keeping dabs on Universe and trying to sap some XP for himself.
Universe doesn't even care, though, because he knows if Kunkka even tries to right-click him, he's just going to take so much damage from spinning.
Well, he's timing out the creeps so that he can come in and get some shots in, force Universe back, and maybe finish off the creeps for himself. He's pump faking that torrent, finally gets it off, but once Zai shows up, Puppy's like, okay, man, I'm cool. Walks back and away and, is drawing attention on himself, so it's a little bit of something, but...
Puppy also blocked that spawn, which is somewhat important, because now Universe, he doesn't have a self, so it's going to slow down his jungling a lot if he wants to go for this large camp.
All right, how are we doing up here? Crit doing his best to zone back Forev. I mean, we've already talked in the past about Oracle and his bat, his ridiculous attack animation and range he has to work with. But of all people, Timber is happy to take the extra pot shots if he has that reactive bar working for him. But nonetheless, he has to kind of find some business elsewhere. It looks like it'll be in the side camp. How's mid lane CS game going? Sumail 9-4, Magnus 7-2. So Sumail kind of getting the better edge at the start.
A little surprising considering mid one went for the level 1 empower build. It's a very common build when you're up against melee or when it's just a CS war in the mid lane. However, Sumail does have that early quelling blade, so he's edging him out slightly in terms of CS. Also, the Juggernaut's attack animation is just a lot better, so he's able to harass him much easier than vice versa.
He has no Blade Fury yet. This is your chance, Puppy. Get him with the X. Get him with the X and the push back to the tower. We'll have to see if he decides to hold the point or not. The Torrent does come in. Mid one with no mana, obviously, is not going to be able to offer a whole lot extra, but Puppey does commit in with the X, gets a few extra shots in. But ultimately, Sumail should be able to walk away from the trouble. But some good casual harassment will lead to him using the shared tango. Back below, Universe back in the lane now after visiting the jungle. Gets a call off, but Pai's quick to zone him away.
Secret did a really good job of preventing Zai from placing the ward. They TP'd down to the bottom lane very, very early, and Sand King had 4 wards in his inventory, 2 obs, 2 sentries, and because they secured that lane, now Pai is actually able to get a lot of levels early on, which is extremely important because you want your Morphling to get a lot of solo levels. I think he's like one of the more level-dependent safe laners, especially when he's like so weak in the early game. So it's good that they're getting a lot out of the bottom lane when is deemed a very weak lane.
Yeah. Well, both safe laners seem to be getting a lot. They match up pretty evenly in CS. Until now, RTZ really hasn't even had to worry about Forev being in the lane, but Forev has made his return, so we'll see if that does slow down RTZ's farm a little bit or not.
Sumail in the mid lane got skewered back.
Oh, he got skewered back into the tower. Was it with an X? It might have been, but I'm going to keep Tab's top lane because they're also making a move for Forev. This will also be a grab. It turns into a 1-for-1 trade. But yeah, as mentioned, it was Secret who were able to strike first and get the first blood bonus.
Oh, and a regen. I don't think anyone's going to be able to bottle it, sadly, for Secret.
Good start for them. And who was able to grab that kill for EG? It was Arteezy, so kind of their best case scenario right there and being able to get the pick. And, you know, we've been seeing more of the off-lane Sand Kings and haven't seen so much of the 4-position kind of Sand Kings here. He's got Tranquils right now, and he's already looking around a bit, peering to see maybe for potential setups. What's your 4-position Sand King kind of objective? And how long do you wait before it's time to buckle down and move on to getting a Blink Dagger?
They need that. I think you can just stack up for Axe. Axe can do the majority of the initiation. It's not like...
Another push back by mid one. Sumail's going to be forced to Blade Fury up, but Zai's in the neighborhood, moves in, gets off the Burrow Strike, but the damage keeps coming through. Are they going to be able to knock down Sumail on this one? It doesn't look like it. They'll get Puppey, though, and EG pull ahead 2-1.
He's trying to match the movements of the Kunkka, and expecting Kunkka maybe to hover a little bit more around the safe lane, but you know, he's not there because Universe has ditched, even though he's been back there for a little while. But yeah, he's just trying to relieve the pressure off Sumail. Normally you don't die as a mid juggernaut, but when there's a Kunkka constantly roaming about and the threat of skewering to the tower, it becomes a much more easy task.
Looks like Zai is spotted out Forev here. Casually farming nearby. Kunkka en route. Zai needs to be careful. And it looks like he may be paying the price. There's the X pullback. He is able to get the burrow, but nonetheless can't escape the clutches of Secret. But look at that. Oh, just enough damage going to be coming out there. Crit with the level 2 Purifying Flames plus the Fortune's End will help get the secured kill. Makes it much more of a worthy trade, and Crit will get the hell back. Nice little snipe right there. All, of course, set up in credit to Zai Sand King. And Arteezy continues to trickle ahead in the CS game, not by much, but the safe laners continue their grind. Oh, off and nearby, that's where the supports are getting a bit frisky. While opposing mid laners duke it out. Looks like mid one's going to be able to make it away.
Ooh, that was a really nice X. He X'd him on the, he X'd him when he was on the high ground so he could try and get the rune and not get Omni Slash, but he did end up getting Omni Slash, but he pulled him back at the end of it so that he wouldn't die. Nevertheless, EG still get the rune and some extra farm on Sumail in the mid lane. So both safe laners, almost the exact same CS. Universe and Zai, though, able to take out and expand their farming territory into this large camp.
So we're waiting for a point here as these potential supports between the Kunkka and Zai roaming about trying to give a slight edge to one team or the other in the laning department. We could be stuck to a point when both Universe or Forev begin to come online. Universe, he's got about 350 gold, so it's still a bit off if he wanted to kind of be the initiator for his team. But this could help. Moves in, spots out Puppey, gets the call back, and X will pull Universe back and away here from getting that much closer as Puppey will still be brought down. Right clicks coming in, plus Zai being able to cut him off will lead to the takedown of the Kunkka. And EG pull ahead now 4-2. EG kind of being a bit more fluid with their movement across the map, a bit more free about it as Crit is all the way down here now. It's been further away from Arteezy than we've seen all game.
They have better ward set up on the EG side. They know exactly where the Timbersaw is with that ward, if he's jungling or if he's going to head back to lane. And they also spotted out Kunkka with their Observer ward in the bottom lane. Trying to use the smoke on the top side. Forev is taking out most of the stack, but there's still a little bit left. Is he going to be greedy? He's greedy. He wants it
around. That means Arteezy's going to be going on in. Crit waits, stacks up the Fortune's End, and Arteezy just sends them a packing with the big blast of the ulti. That's 2 kills already for Arteezy. This will set the difference. Even though the farm seems pretty neck and neck between him and MP's Morph, Arteezy now with 2 kills participating will put him on the up and up. And he seems to be going for the Vlads here on the side, while also maintaining some components of that Battle Fury. So I don't know if that ends up being telling at all, whether he's feeling a bit frisky to adventure away from this top lane or not, but still keeping things relatively cookie cutter.
He doesn't need to. I think they have a better late game.
MP will be able to get the last hit on that bottom tower. Helps him out a bit, and Perseverance is now going to be complete. So it looks like straight to the Lincolns for him. While mid lane, Omni slash Ahoy here by Sumail. Blade Fury follow-up, but Forev will be able to move through the trees and cut his way back out. Sumail not looking to pursue any further as rotations are going to be coming in from Secret. He will make his way out and kind of have to just accept the fact that that one's going to be a goner.
Thought he could get a kill with DD, but not quite.
Mid one's here now, though, and he's got RP, so curious what their best way of being able to get something set up. But bottom lane, they've already made the move for MP. The strength's coming out. Oh, the threshold, not good enough. Universe will not be able to get the dunk, and now they're looking to turn it back and around. They'll get Zai. Very unfortunate timing right there. But, oh, gets sniped down. Crit from the back. Hits him with the Purifying Flames, and we'll get the finish. 2 times this game he's been able to do that, but he might lose himself. Are you serious, Crit? He is blasting out everything he can right now with the Purifying Flames, and it is just deceptive the work it can do. That one should be able to heal him up. He's a bit low on the mana to be able to follow up with the Fortune's End, but wow. 3-0 for him.
That Observer ward snipe on the Morph.
Yep. By golly.
What a player.
It's a 1. Is he going to go right for Arcanes, I imagine? He'll pick those up. Could later turn those into Aether Lens if he decides, but that is a pretty fast support already. And now with False Promise online, you could see these cores get a bit more frisky in the play. We look back now to Secret side, Ben, and I don't know, how long do we got to wait before we see the mid 1 RP in action here? And can he feel confident? He's level 6.
It's the 10-minute mark. 10-minute mark, you get your tome, you use a tome, you get level 6. Now it's time.
Now it's time.
Yeah. All right. They, I think they gave up too many kills in the early game. But they're... see, the thing about Secret Slime is I think it's weaker in the laning phase, and I also think it's weaker in the late game. So I think they had to get a little bit more.
So mid-game is their chance. I mean,
mid-game, I suppose, before Anti-Mage gets really big, except he's had just free farm the entire time.
They're going for Forev, top lane. Zai setting up with the burrow. Long Timber Chain makes Forev some good distance, and he's just a bit too big and beefy. With only 2 points in reactive armor, that is plenty enough for him to be able to make it out from trouble. And EG do not want to risk hanging around too much longer.
They don't have the False Promise up on the crit. If False Promise is up, they can actually play a little bit
5
more
seconds
aggressive.
it will be.
Yeah.
Mid one's around, and Viz, Pylai dies, hoping to get a catch with him.
They want to kill Arteezy.
Will they find him? It looks like they may.
I don't know if they have enough damage, though. He has level 1 Spell Shield, and he's in Strength Treads already. So this is going to be a really difficult kill.
They're going for it, though. RP, Ice Blast is all there. Shockwave skewering the wall. It seems like it will be good enough. Arteezy goes down. It gets hit so hard so fast, it wasn't even able to swap the treads, unless he did at the end. But
they did a really good job of using all their spells. He empowered right before. They got the Chilling Touch off on him at that exact moment. Really good burst.
With everything in line, they're going to be able to bring Arteezy down a peg, kind of get something back from Secret after they did lose MP in that bottom lane trade.
But finally, they get a deep Observer ward. Most of their wards prior to this were very defensive, protecting the mid laner, protecting the AA on the bottom lane. Now they finally have an aggressive one so they can scout out the Anti-Mage farming. And now that they almost have the Blink Dagger on the Magnus, they can actually get a few more kills. And Arteezy's build was a little bit more offensive, too. He picked up 2 points of mana break at level 3, and it's good versus Timbersaw if you want to drain him so he can't Timber Chain away, but at this point, when you're just farming and you want to survive any ganks that are thrown your way, you want max stats and or maybe a second point in spell shield. I wouldn't recommend a second point in spell shield, but stats build is very common, and I think with the 1-1-1 build, he actually would have lived that fight. Skin comes out in the mid lane.
Puppey with the self-X, kind of trying to get some extra bit of intel there in the mid lane to see if there's any smoke movement or anyone from EG kind of in the area.
He was trying to protect the Magnus because Magnus is trying to get his Blink Dagger. Now he has 2250. So they just need to prevent him from dying at that point. Universe does have his Blink Dagger just a tad before.
Yes, he does. They've actually already smoked, and they're looking to already get it. And of all the people they might be able to find, it's going to be MP as they lead with a Burrow Strike, have the Epi, have the call, have the spins, have the... Well, they don't have the dunk, but they got the kill. Crit's going to pick it up once again, and Morphling is going to be brought down. Can Secret find their own response? With that mid-1 Blink Dagger, he's still back in base. They're still waiting. They just barely missed an opportunity to spot out Puppey TPing away, but they'll take the opportunity, drop down in Ob's Ward right behind that tier 1, and
but it's time to smoke.
Shuffle off.
They have the smoke. They have an Arcane Rune on Magnus. They have the Blink Dagger. This could be their time, but they need to smoke right now, or they're going to walk into an Observer Ward. Oh, they've been scouted. Oh,
it's over. They see the mid-1 blink.
Yeah.
They see it now. Even Secret drops the sentry. They see that. They see them. They'll get the ward, but
the element of surprise is gone, and EG will not be giving up a free kill. Also, that last fight, Morphling had just used his waveform on the creep wave, on the neutrals too. If he had not used it there, I also think he would have survived. But you know, got to get that little bit of extra gold. Can't really blame him for that.
Got to get it, and you got to get it faster. And unfortunately, we'll have to see if that changes his farming patterns or not.
Okay, they are smoked right now. EG, I'm pretty sure they know what's up because Magnus hasn't showed for a good like 30 seconds. And they know he has his Blink Dagger. So they're positioned behind the Observer Ward. Look at Chris' position. He's trying to pop the smoke through the Observer Ward, but maybe thinking it's a good time to bounce.
Drums coming in for Zai. Just as the fight could be approaching here, they've been able to spot it. EG looking for a reposition. And Secret maybe trying to hope to bait something out with that Puppey illusion, but EG are gone.
Their position was perfect to pop this.
Very nice read there by EG as they will avoid another opportunity there by Secret. And Secret are now going to be left in an awkward position where they continue to try to find an opening here for their Magnus. The biggest breadwinner for their team right now has just been Pile Die. Continue to farm this top lane. He's getting close to level 9 and is just waiting to Ice Blast something. So he's been on the other side of the globe.
And 4F on the bottom side, 2 members of his team TP'd out. The Universe, the damage is too much. He doesn't even need the Culling Blade, but 2 of them TP top to try and gank Arteezy, and now that no one was there to sitting behind the Timbersaw, Arteezy knows that he's in danger on top. Good read by him.
Yeah, these reads are crazy by EG right now.
The pressure on Secret is just like the Jug is going to scale way better. They don't have a melee core to scale with the Magnus, which I think is why it's a little bit of an odd pick. Normally you pair him with the Anti-Mage, Slark even. Ember Spear is a very common choice, but with the Morphling, you're like, who cares about an empowered Morphling? Yeah, sure, he has a lot of agility, so he get a lot of percent-based damage, but he's not going to cleave.
And maybe when Puppey gets an armlet and then you give him the Empower, he might do some decent Tidebreaker damage, but you're right.
Or maybe Magnus gets a Scepter.
Okay. I like that. That's just they have the group up next to him, right? And they all get the Empower.
It's a large radius, I think.
Is it? I thought
I think it's like 900 or something.
900 is okay.
It's okay. I'm sure it has like lingering effects too, right? So if you pop out for a second, you'll still have it. So I don't know.
Has there ever been an Ags purchased by a mag in a competitive game?
I've seen it before, but
it must have been mega luxury.
It was like when the game was already over.
Yeah. I don't.
Is that a thing? I don't know.
I don't think I would. There's definitely been no changes to it, so I doubt it. I'm not forecasting an Ags here for mid 1, unfortunately. We'll have to see those.
Come on, rush it. Get that point booster. Yes, 1,300 gold is perfect.
Let's see here. Puppey is able to get the X. Zai's trying his best to burrow away from the trouble. Still ends up eating the bulk of the damage and will end up being dropped.
Crit is in no man's land.
Crit coming in from behind is going to be forced to false promise himself here, but he continues to eat hard damage. Sumail's going to be able to get the pick on Puppey with the big Omni Slash. Now riding on forward is going to be Forev, but Universe already getting the job done and getting the cleanup there for mid 1. Arteezy begins to go to work. Forev's going to be losing all of his mana, but still staying alive And so will MP. See replicates right out. The chase is on, though, and the easiest target is Pylai Die. Poor Pylai Die.
Whatever. Have Midas spot wards. No problem.
See you later. Pi goes down. And we'll hand over another grab to RTZ of all people. EG pull up and ahead 12-5. We take an early peek at the net worth advantage they got, and it's creeping towards that 5K mark. They're already up in the XP department, closer to 8K right now. Pressure still on Secret. And where is my big RP at?
They isolated him really quickly. The axe blinked on him, and then the anti-mage came on, and then the Juggernaut with the haste. Also, they all just focused on the Magnus before he could RP. They don't have a save. Like, they used boat very early on in the fight, and it's not like they have an Oracle on their team. They have to be able to protect the Magnus a little bit better, but it's a tough fight to take during daytime, because they can just jump him super easily, or even just stop a Blink Dagger with a Battle Hunger, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, as of right now, you would think that this is Secret's big power peak. Once the Blink comes online, and really where you think that the Magnus is doing his part based on why you would even pick him up in this lineup. We have to wait and see if Secret are ever going to find that kind of opportunity or not, because EG have everything they have, but seem to be matching up even bigger and more powerful. Where you have a Magnus, we have a Universe Axe to lead off the call, and he already has a nice new Blade Mail to kind of sport.
Wow.
Where you have set up in Kunkka, we have Zai, who is already got his drums and probably going to be moving forward into a Blink Dagger if he has any say.
Might eat this smoke. They don't want Zai, though.
It's unfortunate, but they will have to settle for him. He will eat the first big RP of the game. And it will still feel like a lot of effort, even just between the three, but they will finally get the Sand King down.
You're not happy with that, though, Secret.
No,
not at all.
EG's happy. It's a good tank of the gank, and Secret had to settle. They had taken like 2 or 3 other opportunities to try to make smokes and movements happen, and that was the closest to success they've been
And
at.
without RP, I think their team fight is like very weak.
Radiant's
If they can just run up in their face, and all they'd really have to worry about is boat, which is not that big of a threat at this point in time with the Oracle and the Juggernaut healing force.
Oh, they've spotted Puppy. Oh my god, but Universe is going to be the one brought into a big Ice Blast. He's going to end up going down. Mid-1 looking to move on in, but as mentioned, has no RP to work with. Turns back. Shockwave obviously going to get mitigated from the Fate's Edict, but not that pure damage. Luckily, Crit had been TPing out and is going to be able to make it back in a way. No way to cancel it, so turns into just a 1-for-1 tussle. EG will lose their precious axe.
The burst was too fast on the axe. Crit was not able to react in time with the False Promise, although he did have some nice plays with the Fate's Edict TP out there.
He's going for a mech, looks like here on Crit.
Radiant's middle tower
So
has been
obviously
devoured.
gets double the effect with the False Promise. It's pretty nice. And no Urn, though. I don't mind getting Urn sometimes on Oracle.
They already have one on the stage.
Oh, they did have someone. Oh, you're right. Okay. Right there on Zai.
I think he just wants to stop the Blink Dagger and use it on the Magnus if he possibly can. Again, they're doing a really good job of making sure he doesn't get a good Blink RP off in the fight.
Here comes EG now. Smoked and rushing right up north here towards where MP is farming.
Sounded like you said Russians.
They are going full divide, though. Sumail looking for the grab. Jump and call will be there. Can they burst down the Morphling? Yes, they can. Universe will make it an emphatic dunk at the end.
What a weird build from the Morphling. Look at his items.
I saw the Dragon Lance already.
I don't know what to get,
it's like, I'll
guys.
take a little bit of this. You know what? I'm bored of getting that. Let's get this. And he finishes out the Dragon Lance. He's like, you know what? Let's go for the shotgun now. I don't care about the Lincolns. Let's go for the shotgun. I mean, does he feel like Lincoln's is not necessary, or is it that Secret feel like they need the burst? That's a weird. I got to get away from this thing. It's driving me crazy. Yeah. What the hell?
I think, I don't know, it's tough. Like Morphling, you'll see the players that get Lincoln Sphere every single game. Maybe he's one of those guys. It's like, okay, I'm always going to start with Lincoln Sphere because it's a safe build. You get a lot of regeneration, it ups your farm a little bit, and it keeps you a little bit of safe. You
feel
get
safe
stats.
to be in the sidelines. Yeah.
But then he's like, well, we're not going to win this game by farming because Anti-Mage is going to farm way faster than I am because he had a better start, he got a couple of kills, and he has Blink. And Morphling just does not have those tools available to him, and he also can't cleave. So his farming speed is much, much worse. And then he's like, okay, well, if I go with the Lincolns, I'm still going to always be an item behind the Anti-Mage. So maybe he thought that he had to be more active, be more aggressive, but that's not really working out for him. He has 3 deaths to his name and no real big item completed yet.
This is supposed to be Secret's big team fight time right now when you're Ice Place and RPs and
it's the only time I think their lineup is like much stronger than EG's. And, it's just mostly EG has been playing too well around the RP. Their positioning right now is incredibly good. Sumail's in front. If he gets in trouble, they false promise and then he spins away. And if they have healing ward, even if he gets hit by the AA blast, I still don't think he dies in that fight. And on top of that, they can like follow it with a blink axe, do like an epicenter. Like it would just be really bad if they try to initiate onto him. But they have they had to do like a wraparound if they want to go for a gank like that, or maybe like use a replicate on the Magnus, show somewhere else on the map so they aren't prepared. But every time like mid one, he just feels so useless in this game.
All right, so yeah, a couple of rough, unfortunate moments there for both Pi in the bottom lane, who continue to be split pushing on his AA, getting his own solo XP and being able to participate globally. Gets punished there by Zai and Arteezy, and then we just witnessed, of course, mid one, who had been farming that side camp, but it was under the watchful eye of EG.
Look at Zai, he was just running all around. He was just like, okay, where are you guys? And he ran into a puppy, but he just sandstormed away. And if they don't do anything very soon, they're going to be able to take down the road.
Trying to go for Zai here. With the X and with the Torrent, it should be good enough.
Not respecting the X.
Yeah, he keeps trying to do the little burrow trek to make it away, but...
Okay, so Anti-Mage is getting a Lincoln Sphere, which I actually think is a very good choice this game because the replicate has actually been very annoying. Every time the Morphling sees Anti-Mage, he replicates. Like all the other heroes, they don't. No one really wants to kill that replicate because you're gonna lose your entire mana pool if you do that. And it also Morphling can just join the fight very, very easily. And they can, I guess, take off the Lincolns with something like a Cold Feet from Pi, but Ancient Apparition doesn't really want to be close enough to that fight. Morphling, the Adaptive Strike is just way too long with the cast point, and I think X is too valuable of a cooldown to use.
So close yet so far. They even pinged perfectly where he is, but unfortunately...
mid-own?
You're right, he does. Oh no.
It's just not his game. At least not thus far. That's okay, it only takes one RP to bring it all back.
Here's hoping, right? Here's hoping if they can get that kind of setup, but it hasn't been there for them. EG have just been kind of step ahead, whether it's just game sense or with having the wards down and having the insight. I mean, look at Zai comfortably farming this camp, what would be considered in the danger zone. He has Universe nearby. They have the ward. Forev thinks he's going to be able to make chase here, but does have to be cautious that EG could be waiting in the wings behind, and in this case, they were. And it looks like Diffusal is going to be in order for Sumail. Crit's got that mech. And wouldn't you know it, Mr. MP was able to finish off that E-Blade.
The EB I also don't think is that great here because they have a lot of ways to deal with magic damage. They have the spell shield on Anti-Mage. He also has a Lincoln, so he can deal with the EB. Juggernaut has spin, and Oracle has Faith Edict and the False Promise. I think they need to do a lot more spread damage on the side of Secret if they want to be able to kill people in the fight. But I don't know. He also just needs to turn that Perseverance into something.
I imagine probably still a Lincoln unless he's feeling a bit frisky. We'll see.
You could just sell it too, I suppose. I don't know. It's a tough call.
Lotus.
I guess you...
Oh, no stats for Morphling. No stats for Morphling.
No, thank you. I will pass on that item.
Certainly not a Battle Fury, so we'll have to see how much you'll hold those rings in.
Refresher Orb.
Oh, yeah. And they get an Ags, just double hybrids.
Who would he hybrid?
Crash the game somehow, and then you get the Def win.
Or Def loss.
Yeah, right. Well, they're going to manipulate their X plays for now to relieve the pressure, relieve the hemorrhaging that's been happening on the side of Secret right now, as EG can coast their way into their comfortable AM kind of a game. And pressure could be on them here in the bottom lane. We have Universe nearby with an Invis rune. Looks like he's en route to finishing out possibly a Yule Scepter here. But for now, looking to kind of get the jump on Secret, who are nearby. RP, everything already. But as they head over, once again, EG will know what's happening here and either utilize it in a counterplay or just get the hell out. It looks like they'll take the latter. They step away. Secret take all the time to run through this bottom lane, and we'll end up with nothing.
Yeah.
Seems to be the story of the game.
They might His replicate's about to expire soon, but if their whole team committed to that left side, then they could easily sneak a Roche in at this point too. So Secret are at odds as to how to tackle this very farmed anti-mage.
Yeah,
By very farmed, I mean incredibly farmed.
I mean, he's just all he's done is farm, and occasionally he'll be in the area to participate in a kill or so. But bottom lane, Universe and Zai got tired of waiting around, got a bit frisky, wanted to go in. Universe loses his own life. Sumail looks to get in now, gets off a big, huge Omni Slash, and will continue to slash on through. Takes a double for himself, and will sport a sweet mega kill streak. Now they're looking for Puppy. Can they get the captain? Looks like they'll skip up and over, but they've spotted the Iceman, so they'll take down Pi, making it a triple for the young gun, Sumail. 19-9 now for EG. All without even the AM getting involved. He's actually off doing Roche right now, making things even easier for the boys in blue.
I like Sumail's build a lot this game too. Like the Flaming Dagger allowed him to just jump on top of the Magnus and some of the other heroes just so that they can't really do anything in the fight. Mid one, it looks like he's not doing anything, and he isn't, but that's mostly because EG always know where he is, just jump him immediately with their blinks and are spread out far enough so that he can't get a good RP off at all.
All right, EG, they got the Aegis, they got the extra life. I mean, based on the trend of the game so far, they could just take their sweet time right now if they want. I don't imagine Secret's Lamb is going to get any stronger as far as the team fight really here moving forward unless all their ducks in a row really line up.
The stronger EG get, the stronger his replicate gets.
All right, fair enough.
Not really. Oh, I mean, yeah.
I mean, that one
theory,
moment they have it. You don't really have a way to quickly get rid of the replicate, I guess.
Yeah.
Just have to deal with it.
They can kill Morphling because he doesn't have a Lincoln. They'll get rid of it real fast.
They really will. How's Secret's high ground defense?
One of Secret's trademarks is that they always have a good high defense team. It's like
LGD too, the same way too.
Yeah.
Always make sure they have like that Darkseer there.
I think even more so Secret. Before it was Elder Titan, like Magnus plus Ancient Apparition. Like they are ready for those long games. They are ready for that high ground if you screw up. But at the same time, I also feel like EG is one of the best teams when you siege high ground. They're very patient, and you rarely see them throw by pushing high ground too early.
It's a new EG though. A lot of what could be hot-headed members, rambunctious members, could get overzealous. They're under a new leader.
They're just not that type of team to get overzealous. You rarely see them overcommit very, very hard. I think a lot of it has to do with Universe and his playstyle. Like, he always backs off, and it's very easy when you have that person in front to tell you when to back off, because normally you just follow your initiator. He goes in, you go in, he backs off, you back off. And I think that's like why he's considered one of the strongest offlaners, because he knows when and where to take a fight and when and where to back off.
Probably the best trait you could ask for an offlaner. I mean, Universe is like the definition of like Zen. He's just
even when he dies, he died on bottom, but it wasn't a chain speed, right?
Nope.
So,
all right, EG actually making an approach. They're on the welcome mat of this bottom lane of Secret, and with Arteezy having that extra life, they could have him dance out in front a little bit, but it looks like while they wait for the creep wave, they'll still efficiently move out and find nearby farm where possible, so that Arteezy can just develop into his full critical mass state. Now has that Linken's, Manta, Basher, Battle Fury, all before 30 minutes. I mean, he is nearly 5K or so above the next highest on Secret, being, of course, MP's Morphling.
I'm thinking about how much longer they can wait. The Morphling, I guess, has a lot more room to grow because he's poor.
Puppy has a lot of room to grow on a Kunkka. He's got his armlet now.
You can always get Rapier.
He hits hard, man. He's getting the boxing gloves here from Midwan. So.
He actually does a lot of damage.
Yeah, watch it.
Very important versus like the Axe with the high armor and the Anti-Mage with high magic resistance. Like they need that cleave to actually take him down.
Well, Secret are going to take advantage of any time that's going to be given here by EG before EG do decide to kind of push the envelope a bit.
They still have 2 minutes left. Problem is they don't really have good vision on the side of the map where Secret are right now. They set up Worth on a bottom lane.
Spot out Arteezy. He doesn't commit too hard on the replicate there. And EG are going to go back to the bottom lane, it looks like, as the wave is still kind of in the same spot it was left off at. They will be able to kind of pick up from there, and we'll have to see if Secret are going to be able to make their hold happen. I mean, we've only seen 1, maybe 2 RPs this game, and his biggest RP for this particular game might be yet to come.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's a Yules. Universe countering the X here with that new Yules pickup. Puts Forev in a bit of an awkward spot, but he is going to be able to still make it back and away. Universe, though, jumps and gets the call, looking to bring Puppey right back into the action, but without a follow-up there by EG.
They are so good at playing around the RP. Like I think a lot of teams would have gone on to Puppey right there, but then you would have just gotten RP'd and then blasted by their burst. But showing a lot of reserve and composure as they slow siege this T2, heal up with the Oracle, heal up with the healing ward, play it safe while you have the Aegis.
Jump in call on MP. Secret are not close enough yet, but Win1 is going to be able to scooch himself close enough to get the RP, but he's going to get quickly used up. Follow-up combo, Torrent is there, and it's going to be Secret able to quickly nab too, but now the real show begins as RTZ is going to be jumping in, bashes, knocks, and looks to take down Forev. Can he get the grab? Doesn't look like it. Both flies, but it's way back and beyond. And Arteezy and company will just walk out with what winnings they've been able to get.
What a great RP.
It is a blow for EG. EG thought that they had the spacing right there to be able to get the jump on MP and take him out, but Mid1 was able to close the gap fast. Certainly was assisted by his own force staff in getting there.
Yeah, they would have been okay even had he like not replicated out, because that RP was just way too good, and Smil was way too careless and got caught out. They didn't have a ward on the high ground. They didn't have any vision on the Magnus, and the one good opportunity that EG give them, seizes it, crushes them.
It's got to be a little morally uplifting right now for Secret. They get a good first hold inside the base. They don't really take any sort of noticeable damage.
They need the anti-mage to do those sort of risky plays, because he's the one with the Aegis. He's the one who's like mega super tanky.
Ooh, that's a hard hit to Universe. Pi might get a solo kill here, and it looks like he could. Universe is going to be forced to dish out the Yules and just head back to base and hope that he'll be able to survive. What level was that Ice Blast? It's level 2. He has no Ags. Universe is going to be fine. It's close, though. Top lane. Core players facing off, and Arteezy definitely gets the better of this trade. Goes into Manta and is going to get the complete kill, solo kill takedown. Forev shows up, but it's a bit too late to help out. Arteezy with a solo pick. Now 23K net worth. Way up and above still.
Yeah, he's going to get max soon, though, and then they have to seize the high ground before Morphling equalizes their net worth. So, guess what? Bots, Aegis, Rune Shard, all marginal items for him at this point, though. So I think with that failed push, they're actually, not feeling terribly.
They are still chasing for Forev as Zai is going to be able to intercept with a good burrow. Here comes the Ice Blast, though, and the response from Mid1. He now has the RP, is going to be able to get it off just in time. False promises there for Arteezy, and he begins to chunk down the rest of Secret. Moving in, going for former teammate Puppey. Can he get the slashes forward? It looks like he will. Healing up all of that life as well. It's going to be forcing out some early buybacks now. 2 going to be committed from Secret as they lose everybody.
What a perfectly timed call from the Axe. You got him as the Magnus was flanking in and about to RP.
Cancels the first one. Mid1 gets it off, but it was a bit too late off the mark. Credit to Universe on that, and now Secret in a bit of shambles here. Push is coming from both fronts here by AG. Sumail working on the top while they already take down the tier 3 in the mid. Axe pullback into Torrent. Can they get the burst for Arteezy? It looks like they may. He's going to be able to get the blink up and above, but he gets skewered right back in by Mid1. Burrow follow-up there from Zai. Universe in the mix too. They'll both be going down. And Secret will finally be able to get EG off the front porch and heading on back, but still a hard blow for Secret to take. A little bit of minor base damage, but they do get Arteezy at the end. I'm sure that came with a pretty penny. Oh, wrong button. Oh, how much money precisely? It was Min1 who got it?
939. 939 gold to the Morphling. On to Anti-Mage. And is Roche going to respawn quickly for them? That is a negative. They are not blessed by RNG.
2 full minutes. Secret.
Yeah. They're like, please, Roshan, respawn while anti-mage is up, please.
That's going to feel like an eternity.
Yeah, that's not happening.
So, good for EG. Arteezy can just simply wait out his buyback. Ice Blast on crit. But we'll be able to step back in a way to avoid the trouble. Secret just utilizing this timing window as best as they can by recovering some gold on the map that's still out there. Confident jumping from Zai. Could have made something from MP. Oh, big skewer catch up from mid one right into the heart of EG. Holy shit. He's going to quickly lock him down. A double kill for him. What a setup.
I thought they learned their lesson from bottom lane. Do not go on the Morphling.
Overzealous, Ben. Weren't we talking about this before? Fortunately, might have jinxed him a bit. They feel like an open opportunity there, and suddenly, again, things just dramatically turn back and around.
Well, Morphling actually looks like he has real items now in his inventory, now that he's completed his Lincoln Spear, and they survived the high ground hold. Still, their base is like not very healthy. They've lost 2 T3s, and the next Aegis is going to spawn in 40 seconds when EG will be all up.
Yeah.
And now there's a Shadow Blade on the Magnus, which is extremely good for him because he is their key. And I also believe that EG lost a gem on the last push. Maybe they didn't lose it. Maybe it was Secret that dropped it, but I did see a gem. It was actually Secret's gem. No, actually it was EG's gem. I see it owned by EG Crit.
Which one? Not the one Forev has.
The one Timbersaw has.
Man, mine doesn't show that, but it looks like that precious mid one Magnus has already actually been taken out. Ice Blast will fly through. It does connect onto Arteezy, but EG have already pulled off, satisfied with the Magnus takedown. That alone is good enough for them to be able to secure a Roche.
Yeah, what do you know? Roche is about to respawn in like 5 seconds.
If it does pop up.
Convenient.
Well, Ice Frog is blue after all, so says something there. Arteezy forces them back, and now EG can decide what they'd like to do. You have 50 seconds of no high ground Magnus to worry about, or no Magnus to worry about in the Roche pit. It looks like Arteezy will go into the bit and get work there.
Have to be a little bit careful about Ice Blast. They don't have a Blast. Arteezy is not actually going to be popped off for this fight. But without the Magnus, it shouldn't be that big a threat. Pilot is going to throw the Ice Blast out. Let's see if he blinks out in time. It's not an Axe Ice Blast. It's only level 2. He has max mana shield. Stealth shield, rather. No problem.
MP's paying a visit to the northern part of EG's base, though. Only tickles it, it looks like, very briefly before the replicate is gone. Goes right back, and now EG are going to have their Aegis. Can Secret pull off another hold? I mean, certainly the back half of their game has been much more impressive than their first half.
I don't think they're going to be prepared for this invisibility from Universe. They don't have the T3, so he can actually just walk up through the mid lane if Timbersaw's not there. But, you know, he's not that risky of a player to maybe do so without vision.
It looks like he's also going for his own possible Shadow Blade. Crit back and below here, trying to hide under a Glimmer, but he is spotted out as Forev will be stalking him with that gem. That is no false promise for EG. What could be their get out of jail free card. So EG might have to reset a bit and wait for the Oracle
Look
to
at
get
the
back to play.
space with the illusions. They just had the 2 Manta illusions from the Juggernaut and the Anti-Mage all beating on the range rack. So they got some damage out of Crit's death.
Looks like Puppy went for the drums after he got that armlet complete, but still sports a lot of gold here. We'll have to see what he does opt to go for here. You already mentioned the Shadow Blade here on mid 1. Let's see what Secret plan to do. They have a smoke on Puppy, but they're not looking to pop it yet. I guess they want to scout out, obviously, if there's any wards in the area first. Looks like there's not. Do they go now? There are wards nearby and an Arteezy nearby.
They just need 1 kill on Magnus, I think, to end this game. Magnus doesn't have buyback right now, and he is still very vulnerable, I think, to like the Anti-Mage or the Juggernaut blinking onto him if they have detection. However, They do not. Only on the Oracle, and it's not like Oracle is going to be close enough to just plop a sentry on top of them. So going to have to rely on their superior warding.
Very safe play here from Secret as Puppey will bungee cord himself in to be able to get this safe ward down. And obviously EG will take that information probably to crit, and he'll look to kind of clean up the mess with the wards.
I'll take that as tribute.
EG looking to kind of still maintain control of the majority of this map so that Secret don't feel comfortable moving out too far and farming up.
Losing that gem on that push kind of set them back, I think, like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they had to wait. Now they have all these wards up on Secret, which will buy them an extra, 3 or 4 minutes as EG struggles to these wards, which will, like, the net worth in between the Morphling and AM is 8,000 right now, but Anti-Mage can't really make good use of all that gold. As mentioned before, like, the boost travel doesn't really give him any more battle prowess, so I think the Morphling actually may be a little bit stronger than the Anti-Mage at this point, combined with the effects of the Empower for the mag.
Yeah, but the nice thing for EG is they have the Jug there too. And
yeah, that's
the Jug versus mag matchup is very different.
He's slowed down a lot in items though.
Yeah,
he was like way far ahead, and now he's
got a Scotty, so
yeah.
He's got lots of life here in hopes of surviving that big initial burst and just having the extra stats so that something like Ice Blast doesn't just take you out of the whole game. But
yep.
We'll see if it's going to be good enough. Again, Secret had that kind of possible team fight and execution that could ruin the day of EG. We already saw it twice this game. EG definitely have to be very methodical with any sort of new push. And Secret, they're just going to have to play a very passive kind of a game here. Just having Forev be on push duty, giving MP what farm where necessary. Puppey's going to be manipulating as best as he can with the X. And Pi will just be there with the Ice Blast. So don't expect too much excitement here from Secret. It's EG who can dictate where the game's going to be going. I don't know. Do you think Secret should be looking to like smoke and just run on out?
Nah, they just split with the Morphling.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And EG don't actually have a good way to deal with Ice Blast. I think the
you get a couple, there's going to be either someone from AG split pushing here, which looks like into the top lane, or just making waves elsewhere.
It's too dangerous during night. Like, normally you would send your illusions in 1 by 1, like just send them on the range racks or the T3, so they have to do something about it, and then occasionally you'll get a glimpse of the magnets, and then you can play around from there. But during nighttime, you don't have enough vision with your illusions to make a good push, especially when he has a Shadow Blade, and especially when they have a Sentry Ward on the high ground to make sure that you don't have an OBS.
All right, we have a smoke set up here. I don't know if Secret are still thinking that EG's just outside and they want to keep their movements inside in the dark.
They're thinking that they're going to lose if Roshan number 3 goes EG's way. So they have to make a move right now before the next Rosh.
Problem is they are very far away from any sort of approach by EG.
They're waiting for EG to get sloppy. But look at their positioning right now. They're like, any direction that they come up from, like bottom left or up, they will pop a smoke and see them before.
Just going to sit here for 30 seconds, wait for hopefully a quick Rosh.
No, they're waiting for someone to reveal on the map on the side of Secret, because then they know that they own smoke. And it can't just be the Morphling. The Morphling can still have Replicate out with the rest of the team, so it has to be Morphling +1.
They might have been able to get the test there if they want or not. Looks like EG just venture away from the Rosh pit, and they'll reset this bottom lane, get it pushed back forward, and smoke out where Secret are, and force them to reveal themselves by dealing with these lanes. Looks like they came back from the top lane. They're going to be taking care of mid. That's where Secret hightail it out from the bottom lane, including Arteezy heading all the way up to the top to push that one back. So looks like we'll be waiting things out till the new Rosh is up, and EG can hopefully claim that Aegis. We'll have to see if Secret can afford to let that one go or not. I imagine they're going to try to at least take an opportunity before it happens, or try to intercept it when it does. Either way, this game is not going to look so good if you just hand over the Aegis to EG.
Yeah, Juggernaut just got a DD too, so still not a good time for Secret to fight. But it is a slightly longer respawn at 1 minute and 55 seconds. So Secret have a little bit of breathing room, but they don't know that. They're thinking like, oh crap, they could be in Roche right at this exact moment, and we just don't know what to do about it. Or they could be ganking us, or they could be right outside our base, or they could be smoked. Where are they?
Well, EG still have these great wards here. They see Secret just trying to de-ward, and that's when they're going to look to strike. Sumail jumps on in, looking to get the grab on Pylai Die, but he gets the saving force from mid 1 to the low ground here. Now the move in. Mid 1 goes to the backliners with an RP, but Arteezy Mage is jumping for MP. On the other side, though, Forev coming in deep for Universe, who's going to get the false promise save crit to keep him alive. That's when the Omni flies out. Forev eating a lot of the damage, tries to make it to the low ground, but then there's going to be a nice catch from Zai, and they'll get the cleanup. Universe gets him with the dunk. And now EG have a numbers advantage.
RP is down, though.
RP is down. Forev does have a buyback. It's a strong tool to not have on your defense, and this could be Rax here for EG. We'll see what they do without it. Boat in 20. Jump in from MP. Skewer back. Mid 1, though, can't find any additional opportunity. And now with the burst and the blast of MP, he's going to be going down, and that's going to be a forced out buyback. EG looking for a possible closeout. Have to step back and away. Universe seeing a lot of damage. Is going to get shredded down. Find the second life of Forev. Crit going for the TP. Get some assistance there from Zai.
But Artur
Radiant's top barracks.
got 3 Rex.
Top lane, ratting it out. Is going to go ahead and take 1 Rax down.
And then there were 4 Rax left.
Okay, looks like EG might be going for a closer. Buyback from Universe here. And back we go on the bottom lane. An Abyssal follow-up. Locking down MP is going to get the force to make it back and away. Jump in from mid 1. Skewer back out. This epicenter puts Zai into a corner, does a little bit of damage. He actually managed to burrow up to the high ground, but Forev will eventually be able to chop him down. Meanwhile, Puppey with a nice grab gets the finish on Sumail, while Forev cleans up with the double. Universe dies on his buyback, but Mage created as Arteezy is going to go again to the top lane and try to chunk down the Rax, only able to get a few right clicks in. But a hold by Secret here when that could have been complete closure by EG.
That's
allow him a little bit
hold.
extra life.
They only lost 2 range racks, so it's still in a decent position at this point, especially if Magnus can eventually get like a refresher orb, which I think he really needs at this juncture in the game.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't have the luxury of doing that. But EG lost a lot of gold right there. In particular, like Universe, I think, is very underfarmed as the position 3 on the side of EG.
Yeah, buyback die certainly doesn't help. And suddenly we see Secret moving back in deep here. This happens while Arteezy is split pushing this top lane once again. We'll
There's
see
no
how much
creeps,
Secret
though.
can do.
So he can't actually take down the Rax. He also doesn't have a Battle Fury, so he doesn't even kill creeps that fast anymore.
Lots of creeps here. Crit is going to try to totally pull the aggro back and away. But that's a tier 3 possibly going down. Glyph comes out. 8 seconds before we are going to have Universe back. Sumail needs about another 15. Arteezy waltzes in first. And Zai tries to commit it with a burrow. Not going to get the catch. Now he's X'd up. Forced back. There goes the Torn and Boat, but it's all going to be off its mark. And now Universe, back from the dead, moves in, gets the Yule call onto MP. Does EG want to commit for this? They got to be a bit skeptic. Where's mid 1? They're going to catch him on the back inside. Now they move in. That's going to be the Epi. They're moving in hard. Mid 1 forced to step back and away. Does not want to be dropping the RP now because EG taking this fight. Forev forced to go to the low ground while Arteezy will get the cleanup onto Puppey. Now Sumail targets Forev. Forev trying to timber chain away, but he has nowhere to go. And the bash even coming out certainly doesn't help. EG take down 3. One of them being MP's Morphling. 90 seconds, no buyback. And they just begin to rush right down the Radiant side.
That was masterfully played by Arteezy. He like blinked in, so they kind of had to commit. They like thought they could go on him for a second, and then he manted, and then he ran away. But he used those manta illusions to burn all of Morphling's mana when he was called, and he ended up hitting him for like a 2,000 mana void to seal him in the grave. And that should be the finishing touches, unless they can make a magnificent hold with the RP. But mid 1, this might be the last chance that you're gonna get.
You need a Skewer Ice Blast and then just, or a RP Ice Blast and Skewer him somehow all the way into the fountain, really, at this rate. EG easily take those racks on all lanes. Mega's unleashed. EG walk away because, well, got to be feeling like they just took game number 1. Secret looks like they'll hold out for one more final hurrah here, but to add frosting onto the blue cake for EG, it looks like they are going to be also taking the Aegis. pretty minimal percent chance that Secret are going to be able to pull this one back, but it looks like they are going to try to give it one more college try.
Yeah, maybe if they didn't have the buyback on the anti-major jug, but they've been very careful about it, and both of them still have it out. They might be able to snipe.
Not on this day, unfortunately. EG grab up that Aegis. It's going to be Universe who takes it because he just dies so much.
He's the only one with like a slot left because he's poor.
And he'll take that Aegis all the way back to the fountain to heal on up. So now it's base defense mode for Secret. Having to deal with the Megas is never an easy task, but hey, they got Empower to work with. They have the Kunkka with the Tidebringer. They have a Timber Saw. They have plenty of methods to kind of stall things out a bit and survive for the fight. We'll just have to see, though. EG. Okay, they found Forev. He's dead. And that took little to no effort. He's out 70 seconds, and this game might be ending sooner than expected.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add to that.
I mean, I don't really either. It feels like EG have pretty much already won this game.
At this point, yeah.
Secret could be game planning for the next one, but obviously never say die. Let's see what they can do. Puppy leads in first. There's going to be the Torrent. Universe, though, is going to cancel that X. Mid one looking. He's waiting. He wants the RP. Coming closer, EG. Oh, Pi takes the Omni. Tries to force himself to bring Sumail into the fountain, though. Mid one. Following him down a bit. Skewers him back. Oh, okay. They won't be able to get that blast. No skewer for this one, though, but they do get the RP nicely onto 2, but that's when RTZ comes on into play. 3-man Torrent. Secret, though, rushing themselves with 4 staffs back into the safety of their own fountain. It's time to go for tier 4s, EG. And it looks like they will now.
That's skewering to the boat.
Now RTZ just ow, slicing up that Morphling. It's no contest whatsoever of a trade right there. It's going to be EG taking game number 1 of this best of 3. Things feeling pretty mirror matched for a while in the laning phase, I'd have to say, but EG just kind of had the better game sense. They kind of read the movements from AM lineup. I imagine that only makes things all the easier.
I think the thing about the AM lineup is that they're not forced in a position where they have to make many mistakes. I think Team Secret's lineup, their lineup thrives on mistakes. Mistakes in position, so you can RP overall, EG just didn't give them what they wanted. There was that one RP on the bottom where they killed Sumail +1, which kind of stalled the game for another 10-15 minutes, but overall the strategy was not sound enough to carry them to the victory.
All right, guys, so with that, we're going to go ahead and cut to a small break. When we return, it's going to be game 2 of the hype matchup, EG versus Secret. Can Secret get a win and stay alive for game 3, where EG coast into the next round of the upper bracket? We'll find out soon. I'm Kyle Guy for Beyond the Summit, joined by Mr. Ben Merlini Wu. We'll see you soon for more Dota action. guys, just a heads up, we currently have about 7 out of 10 players in the lobby right now. So they're slowly coming back in the game. All right, guys, we're loading in. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Mars TV Dota 2 League. We are in the playoffs now, hanging out in the upper bracket where we have Team Secret going toe-to-toe against Evil Geniuses. We're about to hop into game number 2. I'm Coddle Guy for BeyondTheSummit. I'm going to be joined again by Merlini. Here we are, Ben. It's EG up, game number 1. It actually looked like it was going to be a bit of a smoother process for them on the back of their AM lineup, but we can't help but be a bit skeptic. It's hard to be skeptic because it's Puppy on one hand drafting, so you got to feel like what he does is got to be pretty damn good. But, you know, Magnus 5th pick, no melee core to utilize really the Empower. I don't know, Ben, how much of game number 1 do you put on the draft and how much do you put on, like, the whole execution? You know, the age-old question, if you will.
Maybe like 35%, 30% draft, 70% execution.
I mean, they had a lineup where when executed, looks devastating. We saw it like brief flashes of it there in game number 1, but
they didn't have enough tools in their lineup to actually take the initiative, though. Like, Magnus had a pretty good start. They got a kill on the Jug very early, and he had his Blink Dagger that had pretty early timing. They secured some early good runes for him, too, but they weren't able to connect on any RPs. I think a lot of that was due to EG's like very careful play, but that was the only tool they had available to them. If he was missing out the map, they knew exactly how to play. They popped the smokes accordingly. So it's just like they didn't have that many options to go, and I think that's where the strategy was not that sound. But as you mentioned, EG versus Secret, or is it Secret? They misspelled it on the top.
Wait, what? Where?
Right there.
Secret?
Secret.
Oh, yeah. What did they do? Wait, I never noticed that. Is that the title of the lobby?
I don't know.
I don't know where that comes from, but Secret. We'll need a win here if they want to take it to a game 3, that's for sure. They do get some precious pickups early in this draft. EG obviously looking to leave something a bit tasty out there, a second phase ban onto the Axe, something that they sported for Game 1 on Universe. Secret get rid of the Wisp, and then quickly followed up with the OD. So OD's right back in where he used to be, a couple of chapters ago in the Dota world, back into his first phase, first ban situation here, it looks like. And after the first pickup of Kunkka, it's no surprise to see that Secret need to grab up the Shadow Demon. And then for the follow-up pickup here, they're going to opt to go for the Jug. So
last game, they didn't have any defensive hero. That's I think the Shadow Demon is really important for them because the Mag got jumped last game. He's dead. There's very little that they could actually do to save him. Anyone else gets jumped, Mag goes in to save them. But this way they have a backup plan because EG seem to always be able to get the jump on the most important hero.
That was weird to see. You got Pi and Puppy, some of the best defensive support players in the game, and neither of them had a defensive support yet. AA and Kunkka. So
they wanted to try something different. They wanted an all-out team fight, but didn't really suit them in that manner.
We get our first Faceless Void of the series, coming out second here. It's an EG Classic, and it's been a Universe Classic for quite a while, but as we know, this hero has quickly become quite flexible and also representing the safe lane if necessary. So
very similar to the Axe. I think that's how they're going to play it. It's like a super annoying offlaner that can Iron Talon, but is also a really good initiator because that's what Universe did most of the time, was just look for that Magnus, blink call him every single opportunity that he got. So it's I think a substitute that they wanted, a very strong team fight offlane hero for Universe.
How much value, I wonder, will Secret put into that Void and kind of considering countering it out? If this was MVP going against EG, I'd say this is where we might be in store for like a Febby Silencer in the near future to kind of combo break anything that the Faceless Void is looking to set up. Or do you hit him where it hurts in like the laning phase? And it is a Faceless Void at the end of the day. He's very hard to even tame in that off lane. There's only so many heroes out there that kind of really have a say in the matter.
Coddle's really good.
Coddle's good. He has Mana Leak. He does get banned. What do you think about Disruptor? Is he okay?
He's okay. I think Shadow Demon's already pretty good to deal with the Faceless Void.
Yeah.
Getting the early poison stacks on him, it's not super easy for him to deal with that. And you can also put someone under during the Chronosphere, which I think is also pretty good. There's always Pudge. Pudge is seen as somewhat of a counter to Faceless Void. Now that Vengeful Spirit is not that popular, but no one really runs that anymore.
Yeah, and I certainly haven't seen Pi or Puppy run it. I would love to. Don't get me wrong. I would love it.
Secret would run it.
Puppy's like, I picked that hero once, many moons ago, on a different team of different colors in a different time, but haven't seen him drafted too much since, unfortunately. We'll have to see.
They also, I think, identified correctly that the Juggernaut was a big issue for them. Even though the laning phase worked out in Secret's favor last game, I think he did way too much damage to them in the 10 to 25-minute phase of the game, which just allowed AM to get way too big because he was constantly pressuring and killing people with his Omni Slash and just running rampant in all the fights. And the healing ward, too, for the sustain, so they could actually break the high ground combined with the Oracle.
Some notable possible pickups that have yet to be banned. We have Huskar, which is obviously still in there, and always something that can kind of linger over your shoulder. And Drow also has been completely ignored. Wasn't expecting that. EG always been a kind of a team that kind of value that hero, whether it be banning it out or picking it up. Or maybe I'm just thinking of the EG of old with PPD and TI. I mean, that was something he had said himself.
It's not something that they turn to all the time. They're pretty unpredictable with it. Okay, it's a good game with it. I don't think they go into the draft with a Drow strat in mind. It's like, hey, let's run Drow against this team. It's just like, oh wow, we could just Drow them right now, and then they just. I guess sometimes they do pick it up first phase.
For now, though, not the right time or the place. And again, we'll see the respect onto the Omni Knight, which, as you're talking about in the last draft, both these teams did pick up quite a bit, at least for day one action of MDL. But here again, it will not see the light of day.
And they don't have any good purgers on their side. Shadow Demon and Juggernaut are actually, I think, two of the best heroes, which is Juggernaut versus the Omni Knight. Juggernaut, I think he's the best diffusal blade carrier. You have like PL, but PL
Faceless Void could if he was a safe lane Faceless Void, but we're still banking that could be a Universe Void.
Okay.
But okay, Naga comes out here.
The Faceless Void counter that Crit himself ran during TI and a little bit before and after. It's the
MP's Naga or Puppy Naga? Though.
MP plays it a lot more. I'm not sure about how often they run it. Let's see if they have picked it up yet in
5
MDL.
seconds
It has been
remaining.
banned 2 times and not picked up yet by them. So it is still TBD, but I think because it came
Reserve
immediately
time.
after the Faces Void pick, I'm more inclined to say that it's a support.
Yeah. And EG grab up a support themselves.
Team
It looks like they're going to
Secrets
go back
turn
yet
to
again for the crit Oracle. Remember, in game 1, he had fired down a serious amount of kills for himself. You know, obviously with a lot of the benefit from EG's vision department. More credit towards crit himself, I imagine. He was able to take full advantage of that early level 2 Purifying
EG's
Flames and just
turn to
quickly
pick.
accelerate his own personal worth. But here goes Secret now into their off-lane grab. A Tidehunter here. More like combo breaker here to kind of really disrupt a team fight. So now you have Song and Ravage to work with. They are big cooldowns
10
though, so
seconds remaining.
can't help but feel again it's this Secret putting together another what could be
5 seconds
big
remaining.
team fight heavy, execution dependent kind of lineup.
But now it's not all on one hero. Last game it was all on the
Reserve
Magnus. This
time.
game, they can set up the Tidehunter with Ravage, or Sleep Ravage is a very potent combo, especially when none of EG's heroes are really good BKB wielders or have magic immunity like the Juggernaut on their team last game. So I think it's a nice combo that they have until...
Look who comes out now.
Huskar.
I told you, man, this guy just hangs over your shoulder and you just forget about him. He's like, hey, put me in, coach. Put me in. And then he shows up to play. Happened to OG at TI. It was very unfortunate. Now, here, EG looking to utilize him to knock Secret down into the frickin' lower
10
bracket.
seconds remaining.
Yep, he's good versus this lineup for sure. Like, he doesn't really care if he gets slept. He doesn't really care if he gets ravaged. He's just up there to tank, and with the Oracle backing him up, what does he really have to be scared of? And now they have threats on multiple fronts. The threat from the Chronosphere, the threat from the Huskar, just raining down spears upon them. And I think their lineup currently trumps Secret's
Team Secrets
team fight.
turn to pick.
And to round everything out for EG, it looks like a Sumail Timbersaw is in order for us. This, obviously, with the Huskar pick, shows that it's going to be a Universe Faceless Void. We can expect Zion the Kunkka, crit on the Oracle, and that leaves none other than Artur Babev himself
10 seconds remaining.
on the mighty Huskar pickup. So, Secret, okay, buddy. Huskar
5
lineup before you.
seconds
You got one pick left. What are you going to go for? They go for the Ursa. Is good at man fighting up against the Huskar, but you got a Timbersaw still to deal with. You have a Faceless Void Chrono to work around. Lots of ways for EG to kite and maybe manipulate this. Ben,
I think Oracle crushes the Ursa too. You
One
can just face
Fate
Edict them. Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm done.
yeah, that not going to be easy. Secret just kind of grabbing what can be somewhat of an answer here for the Huskar if given the opportunity to farm. Can't help but favor EG a little bit on the back end of this draft.
At least it's a fast-paced hero, though. They needed something swift to deal with this EG lineup. Like, EG can start fighting like very early on, level 6, level 7, I think, is when they're strongest relative to Team Secret's lineup. When they went for a traditional, very farm-heavy position 1, then I think they'd be in a lot of trouble when they start sieging with the Huskar. But overall, I think their lineup is decent. I think it matches up better than last game, at least.
You think this lineup of Secret matches up better?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's more well-rounded. They have a lot more options available to them. They can do Roshan very early. They have a lot of physical damage, so they can burst down the Huskar. They have good AoE team fights, so they can burst down the Oracle very quickly. He can't protect himself if he gets slept into a Ravage. They also have a defensive hero and the Shadow Demon, so that you can disrupt the Juggernaut and or the Ursa, so they can pop their defensive cooldowns and not die in the fight early on. I think they have a lot of the tools that they were lacking last game.
I definitely would agree that their own personal lineup is certainly more well-rounded than what they were sporting for game number 1. There is still a lot for them to be able to execute, and now even kind of, I don't know, do they have to now consider some way to make an early impression into the early game? I mean, you can't just casually let this mid lane Huskar do his own business, so do they put more focus onto him towards this mid lane? Do you look to make a bigger impression in the side lanes to kind of balance it out for yourself better?
There's a couple of ways to deal with the Huskar. One is to just ignore him. Ignore him for the first 15-20 minutes of the game. And he doesn't farm fast, and he doesn't scale that well with items. I mean, with Armlet, I suppose, but after the Armlet, it kind of peaks off very easily, and you're not very scared of a Huskar farming. So I've seen that. Another way is to just constantly kill him in the early game so that he just peaks really early because he's really underfarmed. But usually one of the two is best. And the worst way that I've seen is just constantly fighting him when he has an Oracle sitting behind him. I like the like the 7 to like 11-minute mark. If he gets
Yeah.
just let him free farm his armlet and then fight him constantly once he has his armlet. That is like the quickest way to lose against a Huskar.
Oh boy, they are already making moves onto mid 1 where it hurts. Flame Spears continue to chuck on out, and he'll have to step on back and begin to work with some of that regen here. Puppey will be nearby to help out, but it's already a 3-on-2 in the mid lane.
They thought they wanted the Timbersaw to be mid because Timbersaw versus the Ursa is very Ursa favored. Because reactive doesn't do that much because if you get hit, you take Fury Smoke.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to out-regen that. But with the Ursa in the mid lane, he has no place here. That's no home for a bear.
Yeah, he is not happy. I don't know if this means that Secret are going to have to pull out an audible and change things up between him and the bottom lane or what, but something may need to be done here. Something may need to be done about my lag too. I might have to do a reconnect here.
I'm going to reconnect as well.
We were blessed with a nice game 1, so hopefully the Great Firewall isn't going to be burning too hot here for game 2. We'll keep tabs though for now, as Zai and Pi. That sounds like a cute duo in itself, Zai and Pi. But they are trading blows back and forth. I think there was a Fortune's End there. There's suddenly a kill. But as they make chasing, we'll also get the follow-up takedown onto Pi. I will definitely have to reconnect. Mid 1, Mooks to move on in, and this is where I'll do it. Sorry, gang, but that is just too terrible. Did yours get any better reconnecting?
No. I saw the torrent flying in the air. It looked like he was just...
Fight's over. And it looks like we did unfortunately miss a kill. It looks like they were able to get a grab onto Crit. After Crit was participating in that skirmish for Pi, he invaded into the secret turf. And then on the way out, it looks like he got caught out. So, oh, Ursa also just died. Man, we missed a lot, unfortunately. Damn you, Firewall! Damn you. We'll certainly blame them and not my camera. Rotation's back, man. All hands on deck for this
chicken
mid lane.
snipe from Pi. He's going to get it.
Nice grab. Pops down the courier. Torrents fly out. And right clicks ahoy here for Crit. Oh, this is just completely lagged out and bonkers. Oh well. So while absolute chaos is breaking on this mid lane bend, both side lanes have the one-on-ones though. It looks like Forev did rotate up to the top lane, so he gets his matchup against Universe's Faceless Void. And MP on the Jug to square up against Sumail's Timber. And that Timber has got the second highest CS in the game. So he's holding up pretty nicely. Obviously, we'll always favor the one-on-one, in particular against the melee.
But he died.
But he did die.
I think Juggernaut actually is one of the matchups most feared by a Timbersaw, supposedly.
My God, this lag totally throwing me off my game. It's just putt-putting along right now. We'll see if it kind of works and fizzles itself out. So it looks like we'll be able to have a bit of a stalemate there in the mid lane as both supports will be there to match it up. Huskar's at 14-2, while Ursa's at 11-0, so mid 1 does continue to trail behind just a little bit. Obviously credit to the takedown that EG were able to get.
They're actually getting a lot of farm in the Ursa, though. Ursa, I thought, had a really tough flame being paired up versus Huskar +1, but he's almost even in terms of CS.
Looks like they're making a move for Zai now. Moving on in, the poison flies. He's able to sidestep that third tick, but really has nowhere to run now. Actually, as I say that, they move in. He gets the torn off. Now they're looking to go for the kill on the Pi. He's not going to be able to participate in that one, but Universe will be able to clean it up and get the XP. But now Puppey shows up, hits him up with the ensnare. Can he body block him enough? Doesn't look like it. Universe should be able to walk away from some trouble. But another grab for Secret as they'll inch ahead now 5-3 in kills.
And that's how you turn nothing into something. Nice plays by the Kunkka there to get the +1 on the Shadow Demon. I thought he was just dead to rights without being able to get anything in return.
Long false promise. Sorry, Fortune's End to land on the mid 1 with a follow-up torrent. They need a bit more. Flame Spears, is that going to be good enough? It looks like it will. Mid 1's going to be going down. And they'll get another secured grab. And I'm going to try to reconnect one more time. It is just disgustingly bad for me right now.
I will keep watching in the lag, so
thank you.
We try not to miss that much.
Looks like we have some stacks built up bottom lane. Smill's working there, but it's actually Universe still getting the best in the CS game.
Crushing so
He's
hard
getting
in CS.
a ton of CS.
Way ahead of the tide. Okay, I'm reconnecting now.
I'm back in now, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed that it's going to be decent. But yeah, as mentioned, Universe here, 25-6. Tide's on the other side at 19 right now, but Universe is going to be coasting into a level 6 chrono here soon enough. And with a Huskar in the game, he's always down for a fight. It looks like he'll have to take time to jungle up to get closer to that armlet. Lead some solo XP for Crit, because I'm sure they wouldn't mind him getting closer and closer to that level 6 and that false promise sooner.
Man, they all have raindrops on Dire side. At least three of the heroes. It's one of the best items versus an Oracle, though, for sure.
Oh, yeah. At the same time, it really doesn't cost a lot for Oracle to kind of chew through those raindrops. Purifying Flame, so cheap and such a low cooldown.
But then you're kind of like just like pink for a tango.
Yeah, that's true. Pops it off for Rassic, continues to go back on his grind. Arteezy continues to jungle up, and steady as she goes here. Looks like MP does have Omni Slash available to him, but needs a bit more mana before it's ready to go. I doubt there'll be any serious kill opportunities here in the bottom lane, so we'll just have to see if Secret feel the itch to kind of make fights happen or not. I don't know if anything has been too telling by their side. I mean, you were talking about all the different setups on how you want to kind of approach a Huskar game. It seems like they've kind of been ignoring him a bit. I certainly haven't been bloodthirsty for him.
They limited his armlet timing. A free-farming Huskar gets armlet around this time.
So they limited enough, and I guess it's enough for them to kind of step off from it for now, but bottom lane, MP eating a lot of damage here. Highlight Eye obviously around will be able to assist a bit, but
very nice sidestep of the Torrent right there. Had he hit that Torrent, that Juggernaut would have been dead, even if he had tried to mango in an Omni.
But Zai continues to dish out the Torrents here, hoping for setups that MP is going to be able to avoid in the meantime. Oh, I like that. Crit mind game in the ward. Walks into Roche, comes out, they ping that one, but they do see him still, and they do see the new ward dropped and will be able to ping it out. So a good spot there by Secret, and they'll take care of that extra bit of vision soon enough. But level 6s are coming online here. We got Ravage good to go. We got Chrono good to go. Chakram is going to be up.
Oh, they're taking out the large stack with the Chakram. Oh, man, that's a quad stack.
All shredded apart now. Sumail, big bump in the economy here. Already has his Arcanes, but obviously looking to scoot ahead and get a hold of a Bloodstone that much sooner. Be very helpful. And with that coming online and getting charges, the full snowball effect for EG could be there. Jumping from Universe, but does not make the call to commit in with the Chrono. Just did not like that kind of approach.
That's not the target you want.
Yeah. Secret were around, but they're already heading out the other way. Look at this. They're moving into the Roche pit. EG don't know. They took out that one ward, and after that was taken out, they know that they're going to be doing this in the dark, and EG don't seem to be the wiser unless Sumail heads to that area. Doesn't seem to be the case.
They also had the 6 on a Naga Siren. Puppy was absorbing a lot of experience on the top lane, so this Roshan is very, very safe for them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. Puppy certainly got a lot of XP this game.
Yeah, they feel completely comfortable taking this. Even if EG knew, I don't think they can take the fight at all.
Level 6 support at 8 minutes. That's very nice. They'll be the kind of insurance policy for this Roche. Zai showing up now, though, but it's too late for him to participate. They actually are going to be turning it back onto him, and they get him with a Disruption and an Omni Slash. He goes down. Aegis acquired and going to be pocketed up there by Secret.
Really nice setup, though. They had a lot of foresight with that Observer Ward that they dropped to prepare for the Roche. That really set it all up for them and just made it super easy and very secure Roshan for them.
And now EG, I don't know how much this prevents them from kind of moving forward with any sort of game plan they were hoping. And if it was one to kind of get aggressive sooner, that might have to be stalled out. It looks like Arteezy was able to finish out his armlet as he still hangs about in this mid lane, but the rest of his EG team up here in the top lane looking for another setup. Universe still has a Chrono to use, but Sumail's joined him now under the smoke. For F, though,
there's no X on the Kunkka, so it's actually good. How are they going to set up on that?
That is interesting, actually. Torrent will not connect, and Forev looks to go in deep. No rotations to come yet. It looks like they might just sack their Tidehunter here. And that seems to be the case, so they'll just turn it into a push onto the tier 1. The rest of Secret just continue their grind in the other lanes, it looks like. We're not helping Forev. We don't need them. Oh, they'll get their tower without too much trouble.
Looks like they're maybe trying to set up for like a sleep Ravage TP, but the tower is way too low for them actually to defend it. And the Tidehunter's still dead for a good 10 seconds.
Well,
Radiant's bottom
nice little tower there
is
for
under
EG. Gets him back on the up and up. Secret have been slightly ahead in the net worth department, just inching out a bit of a better farm game in the laning phase, but outside of that, the kills have been pretty split. And with each team getting ready to move forward and start taking some tier 1s, we'll still kind of see a bit of an even trade here until one team really looks to unleash. But I imagine if it's coasting this way forward, who do you really give the advantage to if you're just kind of playing against the clock? I mean, on one
Secret
team,
for sure.
yeah, you got Secret with the
Radiant's
Jug
bottom
and
tower
Ursa.
is under attack.
It's the Huskar will fall off too soon, and Secret have a way better Roche. Ursa can solo it at any point, and then they have the Naga Siren and the Tidehunter to back them up at any point. So I think that they're just comfortable with farming, keep getting Roche, and then eventually they can just use the
Dire's middle tower
Aegis of the Immortal to overwhelm the Huskar in the
Radiant's
fight.
bottom tower is
There
under
goes the
attack.
ensnare. On to Arteezy. Puppy not looking to pull the trigger on a song yet. Oh, mid 1 gets the jump, and they're going to quickly take out Crit. That means that Arteezy could go down 2. And now the response from EG, but it may have come too late. If any damage wants to get involved, because it's only going to be Sumail. So the response is going to be Forev's Rampage, or Ravage rather. And this is going to be a big fight for Secret. EG going to be forced to withdraw. Zai comes in now, but it's too late to really participate. Losing your Huskar and Oracle at the start of this fight, they should have just called this one off altogether. And it looks like they'll have to just settle. Big win for Secret on that.
They got 2 decent kills, despite that fight going very poorly at the start with the Ursa being able to wrap around. Yeah, the Chronosphere into, I think, a 3-man boat with a level 3 Tidebringer to follow it up. So, it wasn't all so bad for them. And Sumail is very fat. He is on par for like a 12-minute Bloodstone, and they thought they could burst him down, but like, oh man, he has the 400 HP from the Bloodstone.
Mid 1 is around, but he sees Sumail, he sees a bottled Arcane Rune too, I'm sure, and not happy about it, but they decided to make the call to go in. Mid 1 springs from the trees here on the back of a Pilot Eye Purge. Is it going to be enough? It doesn't look like it. He gets help with a false promise for Crit, and now Puppy decides to dish out the song, allows them to kind of step back and away. But Arteezy on the other side of the song, now going to be isolated. Beautiful pullback, but he begins to armlet toggle right into Puppy, though, and Puppy's hitting him with the Riptide. Aegis is going to be costed now, and Universe and Zai move on forward, and we'll be able to get the grab onto Jug. MP dropped, leaves openings for mid 1, but look at the rest of Secret now coming in from behind for Evan Puppy. Sweep on in, they see Crit, they look to go in. Can they make it out? Anchor smashes, not enough yet. And Crit decides to head up north to pull attention towards himself. But he's still alive and well. Turns it back, nukes down mid 1 a bit. And sadly, it ends up healing him. Crit's not going to be able to make it for the deny. Still a strong Secret fight, it looks like here. Zai will pull all the way off and away. And that will be the end of it as the dust does settle. The back end of that fight is another 3-for-3 trade. But we're not done yet, Ben. Here we go. Torrent, boat combo. And well, Zai and Sumail take out Forev's Tidebringer, or Tidehunter rather, and now they're going to be able to take the tier 1.
Wow, Puppy used that sleep so well. He slept 4 members, and then he realized that the Huskar could have been isolated. So
yeah,
he skirted a little bit to the northwest so that the 3 members of his team could just focus down the Huskar while the rest of his team couldn't do anything. That was very nice. And Arteezy with the failed armlet toggle right there just dies to the Riptide.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's trying to walk himself out and away from all the harassment, but I don't know if he reaccounted for where Puppy's positioning was and ended up walking into a bit of trouble.
There's Chronosphere up.
Chronosphere's up. EG smoke. It's not in vision of a nearby ward. And now they look to make a new approach. Denied there by mid 1, but they have spotted out Pilot Eye. Self-disruption's cute and all, but it will not save you. 11
Nice from Zai. Knew exactly where he was with the smoke popping. And now with this T1, they actually are in a decent position to contest Secret during a Roche. If they had just chose to keep farming up with the Huskar and not force fights onto Secret side of the map, Secret just could have played patiently, wait for the Blink Dagger on the Ursa, which has just now come out. Very late Blink Dagger for him, despite his very early good start in the early Roche. And yeah, they've kind of regained any sort of momentum that they didn't have in the early part of the game.
And right now, Secret in a bit of an awkward spot with pressure coming in on the top part of the map.
Chronosphere on bottom as MP tries to split for us.
Oh no. They all run right to the bottom. Will catch out the Jug. Wonderful setup by Universe there. Just as they were drawing the rest of Secret towards that top lane, where Secret were kind of stuck in the dark. So they will not see the rotations going out by EG. And Fortunately for MP, he's on the bad end of the gank.
And in the meanwhile, they got that Ninja Observer War on the top lane. That's usually a ward you see a Bounty Hunter or Riki place.
Well, nice little spot down for them. Leaves EG with a extra bit of information. Could see Secret moving out and smoking up. And with Roche about possibly a minute or plus away, obviously something that both teams are going to be looking to keep tabs on. But it looks like Secret are beginning to inch on in. They're happy to turn up the games as far as objectives go. They've already taken out a tier 1 mid and top lane. It's time to get that tier 1 bottom now. Arteezy's happy to get things started. The rest of EG are around. Only Universe back in farming because, well, he doesn't have a chrono, so there's no reason for him to really be there.
Yeah, stopping the Roche is the name of the game for them right now. Secret are actually very hesitant to take down that mid T1 tower. Scared about getting picked off with X perhaps, but Arteezy was kind of out alone on the bottom lane. They knew that perhaps he had backup, but they'll opt to take out the stacks instead for Ev stealing the double stack.
Yeah, he's been able to get his mech, but obviously looks to be saving up for the Blink Dagger next. So we'll see. I mean, do you find more value in the Blink Dagger, or should he go Greaves in this game?
I think Blink, they need to be able to kill the Faceless Void very early on in the fight.
Yeah.
And like double Blink or like Blink Ravage into like an Ursa Burst or Blink Ravage into Omni Slash should be able to bring him down. But without a Blink Dagger, I think Faceless Void should generally be able to get a jump on them. But the problem is he is mega farm too. He has 2100 gold. He can get a Blink right now. And then, yeah, he actually does have a Blink Dagger.
Just, oh, I thought he was going to sell something maybe, but looks like not the case. Ooh, Radiant lose their courier up by their secret shop. Wasn't holding anything, but Secret happened to be around, and we'll take it out. Unfortunate there for EG. They'll lose the little cargo and have to get back to the drawing board. Next item for Sumail after completing that very early Bloodstone seems to be a Yule's. But, yeah, it's not one to purge a silence. I suppose maybe helps avoid Omni Slash, gives him move speed. Anything else I'm missing that maybe the Yule's would be more useful for here as opposed to just getting like a Lotus Orb or something else?
It doesn't leave him hanging out dry in the sleep combo. If he gets slept in a Ravage, he can instantly Yule himself out of it. And as you mentioned, it's very good versus the Ursa Burst, but more importantly, I think you can use it on the Ursa as he's about to use his Rage. They don't have to rely on a disarm during the Rage. They can just throw him up in the air. You waste a lot of your bursts, and you're very squishy after that too if you pop your Enrage.
Looks like Secret made the call to let this tower fall. And now EG have the top lane open to them if they want to make a high ground approach. And I guess they just know that they have hit a peak that Secret may not be able to deal with right now. So they consider to keep moving on forward. I mean, obviously, Universe is going to be waiting in the back lines with a fresh new Blink Dagger and a Chrono. So can't be surprised that EG are going to be feeling this confident. But this is in no Aegis. High ground siege now coming out from EG.
A risky play by EG. They wanted to push up this hill because if they go back and farm, Secret will just do Roche. And, oh, a smoke on the wraparound. Is anyone going to go around? I see Puppy wrapping around the back. He has a relic for crying out loud.
Whoa! Where did he get that thing from? Probably hacked it in, but now they go for the song. A jump does occur. They're going to get the quick takedown of Arteezy. In the meantime, this is Secret's time. Locking Zai, backing away. He's not going to be able to help out. Chrono is going to get dropped, and the rest of EG look to flee. Can they make it back and away? Mid one's moving in. It looks like they've been able to catch up with Zai, but now Zai rushing out and away here. Might be able to make it out. Not really good chase game, but now Forev decides to commit it, pops out the Ravage, gets off the Gush, will be able to get the finish, taking out Crit. Sumail, 1 of 2 left. Long Timber Chain should allow him to make a good escape here, but wonderful hold by Secret. Can't help but think that, I don't know, we're EG too greedy doing that high ground siege in the top lane now.
Arteezy just died way too early in the fight. He got bursted down before the Oracle could pop anything, relying on a Blink Chrono or a False Promise to save him. I can't really blame him for his positioning in the fight, but losing your front liner before Ravage is even expended is a tough fight to recover from.
And they made that jump right as Puppy was approaching in and dishing out the song. I mean, could make the argument that, you know, with thanks to that song, Zai was not able to help out with the boat. Looks like they'd one caught out near the Roche pit. Obviously something he was looking to kind of get in there and hope to do. Well, both teams are looking to hope to do here. So EG want to be the One's imposing some dominance here.
That's a Radiance.
Radiance on your Puppey support Naga.
That's crazy. His net worth is number 3 right now.
I mean, isn't Naga like his top
they have a
play
Sentry
pub
Ward
hero?
there. Oh my god.
Oh, MP walks in quickly. Blade Fury's back out. Oh, he gets bashed while Blade Fury away. Oh, they're going to be waiting for his stop right there, and it could be Universe getting the grab, but he's going to be forced to time walk back and away. Sumail moves in, looking to finish up on a mid-1. Can he burst him down in time? Follow-up jump in from RTZ. They are going to get the grab. Fuzzy Wuzzy going to be taken down. Now they look for Forev. All happening, of course, while he does not have a Ravage to work with. Now Puppey shows up to play. Dishes out the song. Secret not looking to back down. And they're going to look to utilize that new Radiance here, I guess. Dishing out the disruption and more Naga illusions to burn things away. EG off to pull back and get right back into the Roche pit. No Ursa to worry about now. Still no Ravage.
No song.
No song. Is Forev thinking like some sort of blink in play? And
Yeah, they have vision.
our Universe does have a Chrono here. This is very scary. There's the jump in. It's a bit too early, though, if they wanted to connect to the Roche. And now Forev's in an awkward spot. He tries to go for a TP, but the Yules is going to be there. Chrono's going to be committed as they catch out MP right outside the front door. They're going to go for the burst. They're going to get it. RTZ's able to grab the Aegis, and they back out on the way. Rogue comes crashing on forward. Zai very low, trying to rush out in the way. Him and Crit and Sumail, they're going to be eating the Ravage, but they still hold on. Now mid-1, jumping right back in the pit. Looking to burst down RTZ. Can he get the Aegis down? It doesn't look like it. RTZ is going to be able to move on in and starts manning up against mid-1. Turns for Pi. Pi will get burnt up. Leaves him to get scorched. Tries to go back for mid-1, but mid-1's able to win. He gets the double. Actually, technically, Puppey gets the double
This
with the Radiance.
Just turned that fight so much.
That was the slow and painful death by Puppey. While that long-winded fight was just going on all around the Roche pit, his illusions and himself just burning everyone out.
Look at his damage that fight. He did the most damage that fight by a fairly large margin. It's crazy how farmed he is at this point in the game. I didn't think that they could take the fight without their ultimates up, but
Dire's middle
He
tower
did
is
not
under
able to
attack.
finish mid-1, unfortunately. Mid-1 was able to make it away with about 30 life or so. Mel couldn't get that grab. All right, and we're back in this game once again. Secret just totally reclaimed all the net worth towards 5K their way.
now it's a tough fight for EG.
Yeah, it is.
They got the Aegis, they snatched it, but Secret immediately took it down and killed them, and they have slightly better scaling cores, unless, like, I guess Timbersaw maybe can do a lot of damage, but I don't think anything can really rival the Naga Siren at this point, who is now the net worth leader.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's like very, ironically enough, and we saw this kind of thing from EG, specifically back at TI5 with Aoi. You know, in the heat of the techies meta, it forced out teams like CDEC to ban the techies right away, but then you'd see EG always favor that early support Aoi Naga, because they knew that he would be able to grind his way, similar to how we see Puppey now.
It seems like
into a late
Puppey's
game core.
been like very involved in these fights too. I don't know where he really found the space and the time to farm up that radiance, but it couldn't have come at a more timely moment for Team Secret.
I mean, I guess, you know, when you have Forev, who had been pretty much working in most of the Ancients, looks like up and above, Zai's going to get taken down, quickly assaulted by mid-1, blinking in. But I guess there just wasn't as much farm to share on the side of Secret. I don't know. Who suffered from it? I guess MP just didn't take as much of a chunk of farm.
I think mid-1 was the one who like was jungling and took out Roche very early, leaving the top lane alone for good old Naga Siren. But now EG have issues. They can't push out the lanes very well. Faces Boy went for like a more team fight build. Kunkka is just not the best support hero at pushing out the lanes, and Huskar is one of the worst core heroes at pushing out lanes very quickly. And they just have no good way to actually force engagements on the Secret side of the map. They can just keep the lanes pushed out with the Naga Siren and take fights when all their ultimates are up.
Yeah, their best option for spamming out waves and Naga illusions is really this Timbersaw right now, but he is one man and can only do so much. And once Puppey's tank items start coming into play, becomes a whole new beast in itself.
They still have a lot of upside in the fight with the Chronosphere, but it's with the Radiance, you always feel like you're under the gun. Like, okay, if we wait another 5 seconds, we're all going to take like another 200 damage. and you just always feel like you need to get the jump right then and there before everyone's starting out the fight at half HP.
This is going to certainly be a problem. He has a halberd now, so a little bit of evasion and a little bit of disable here for Arteezy. But I mean, he has his own evasion to worry about with the form of that Radiance on the other side. He has something to deal with. Looks like back-to-back takedowns onto Zai here from mid one. Again in the top lane, while Zai is simply trying to push out this top lane and I suppose just draw attention on himself. But EG, after already moving over what was probably one of their best windows to fight and really take over the game, have to kind of look for the follow-up now, whatever plan B may be. As you mentioned, they still have lots of potential behind Universe and his Chronosphere, but one more bad fight like that, and we could be looking at a 180 from what we saw in Game 1, where there's just little to no options for a team like EG.
Yeah, somewhat one-dimensional, I would say, with the Huskar. And he is kind of farmed, but his time is past.
Yeah.
You need to bully people with the Aegis, and they needed to win that T3 siege up top. I'm not sure how he died so quickly. Maybe it was like a bad armor toggle. Maybe it was a nice burst from Secret, but regardless, he has just perished far too many times.
3, 5, and 6 for Arteezy on his Huskar here.
It doesn't feel like there's an Oracle on his team backing it up, or he doesn't feel like a Huskar in terms of his survivability.
And it hasn't felt like Secret have been focusing Crit and taking him out of the fight either, so there's definitely something going on there.
I think he's just scared of like the Blink Ravage if he's too close. Or like the Naga Siren, I think is actually causing the most issues because he was approaching on the south side that fight and they probably were forced to run back so they didn't get caught with a sleep into a Ravage into all of them. So Secret's been making it really tough for EG to actually win these skirmishes.
EG just smoke and head their way through the southern part of this map where Pilot Eye is, but all this movement for a Pilot Eye kill is certainly not good enough. And they're looking to head in much deeper here, but Secret obviously are looking at the map. They're seeing no one defending lanes, and they are taking the right approach here and just waiting things out. Well, I say that, but I was going to say MP could be heading into a troubled area, but it looks like they'll be fine. Secret do a nice job. They avoid any sort of gank approach from EG, and EG will reveal themselves now in the mid lane, and Secret could feel more comfortable getting back out, and it looks like they will.
They're trying to push uphill, but Forev is mega tanky. I don't... Maybe if they chrono him, they can take him out, but then again, if Naga is there, if the defensive disruption is there, it is going to be a turned-around fight off the back of the Ravage. So, yeah, EG, they're looking for a good fight, but they're not finding any.
Yeah, this is crazy how things are just starting to pan out right now. Puppey obviously really taking the one position hat and putting it on his head now, showing that the Ursa game, while it can almost feel one-dimensional like the Huskar, they have that Naga insurance policy now, and EG have nothing. And
a lot of it was the high ground hold, though. Just being able to kill Huskar at the point in the game where he's supposed to dominate.
Secret moving in. They have Forev out in front, slowing him down. Are they looking to pounce here? Can EG step back and away?
Goodness.
Puppey has come in from behind, and he has got off a hell of a song right now, allowing Secret to move on in. Forev's going to be able to connect with a beautiful 4-man Ravage right there. Looks to go for Crit. They're going to get the quick kill on not one but two, as both Arteezy and Crit will fall. Universe tries his best as he gets a nice chrono off. Can they get the burst damage? Taking out MP? No. They will not be able to get that grab. A disruption comes in from Pylai Die, and they will begin to clean up. Sumail's also going to be going down. A big fight for Secret is a take out 4.
That's
all set up by
game.
Puppey right there. That is probably the nail in the coffin. This is totally the Puppey show.
That was... Yeah, it is the Puppey show. He BOT to the bottom lane, wrapped around with the sleep, and then just set up for a perfect Ravage from the Tidehunter. Like, he didn't even need Blink at that point. And then, on top of that, Universe had like a decent chrono, but oh wait, Pilot Eye is there and he's farmed. He has a Blink Dagger. He blinked in position to save the rest of Team Secret, and they do not take any deaths. And this is going to be the third Roche, and imagine their lineup with Aegis and Shees.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like even with that win that this game could be spiraling out of control for EG, but a win like that plus an Aegis for Secret certainly leaves little to no options here for EG.
Yeah. The Huskar just really, I didn't feel his footprint on this game at all. I think the early death and the early death in the middle lane, like which delayed his armlet, timing by a couple of minutes. And then the top fight.
Bo comes out. This might be one of the final hurrahs for EG as they try to save Sumail. They'll hit him with a false promise. He's going to try to make it back away and hope that the reactive armor is going to keep him alive, but that leaves Arteezy in the fight, and he's going to be going down. Crit should be next, and then they'll get the follow-up support and taking out Zai.
Yeah, you can't recover from that.
That is definitely going to be game, and we're going to be going to Game 3 of Secret versus EG. This started well and good for EG, and it looked like it was going to be a possible cheesed-out draft with the Huskar creeping in as their 4th pick, but Puppy says that we're not going out like that, man.
Easy MVP Puppy.
Wow.
Easy MVP.
I can't believe it when you were like, oh, he has a Sacred Relic. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely something support Nagas are going to want to watch in a replay, where he found the farm and how he got it.
He got level 6 super early too, which secured the Roshan #1 for them. It was like a lot of small things even before the Relic. It's not like he AFK farmed until then. He was in the mid lane to make sure that Ursa got his CS. He was higher CS than Huskar for the majority of the early game. He got his level 6 quickly, which secured the Roshan, and then he power farmed for his Relic, which really sealed the deal for the Roshan #2, which just made Huskar rendered completely useless for the rest of the game.
Well, this EG versus Secret matchup is certainly living up to the hype that people were expecting, as we are going to be hopping into a final Game 3. We will cut to a small break. When we return, it will be myself, Coddle Guy, and Merlini once again here on Beyond the Summit for Game 3. We'll see you soon.